when you have a breakup, here's something you're going to notice. Who in here has had a breakup where you had a significant other and you guys were best friends in the world and they completely poured their heart and soul out to you? And then when you got weak, maybe you had a rough time at work, maybe you lost your confidence, maybe you lost your swagger, whatever the case, you lost it. And then not only did they break up with you or maybe cheat on you, but they viewed you as the devil after that happened. Who has ever had that happen? Put your hands up. Okay, so decent amount of people, got it. The reason why that's happening is because their DNA is afraid that they love you too much and that if they stick in there, that you are threatening their lineage because you're a chump and they know they love you. So the DNA hijacks them, it kicks in, it hijacks them, and what it does is it does what's called an RAS flip. Put your hands up if you ever heard me say RAS flip. How about that? Okay, so you guys watch your mouth. That's good. All right, we got to win here. Okay, so an RAS flip is basically a reticular activation system. Look that up. RAS is what your brain focuses on and what it screens out, right? Like poor people, for example, their RAS is typically on how they're a victim, how other people are mean to them, how there's no opportunity, how they could never figure things out, how there's scarcity. As a result of that, they're going to be poor. Rich people tend to be focused less on what other people are doing and gossiping on them and more on their own goals, on possibility, on marshaling resources, on solving problems, on being competent, and on being at the cause, not the effect. Poor people tend to believe they're at the effect, and their RAS confirms this. Like, if you believe that you're at the effect of life, you'll keep finding examples about how you're at the effect of life, and then that will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. That'll become your reality, right? So what happens is with RAS is that if you betray your partner by showing that you're weak, what's going to wind up happening is that they will have an RAS flip because their DNA kicks in and goes, Sarah, we'll call it Sarah or Jenny or whatever, right? Like Jenny is with this guy. Jenny's with the guy that is a threat to our continued survival. This guy's a chump. This guy's a loser. And then if Jenny in her own conscious mind can't walk away, the DNA is going to kick in. It's going to RAS flip you. And if you've ever read the book Sperm Wars, why are men's dicks shaped like a mushroom? Because it's meant to plunge other men's cum out of the girl. And 99.9% of sperm, according to that book, is what's called fighter sperm. Why is it? Wouldn't you think that all your sperm just is normal sperm? 99.9% is fighter sperm. So if your partner perceives you as weak, what is the DNA going to be saying to do and screaming at them to do? To get plunged out of whatever seed you put in, to shoot in the sanitizing fighter sperm, to kill your sperm, to save them from having a baby with a chump. This is nature's way, okay? It's nature's way. This is hundreds of millions of years of evolution. Watch there's a documentary called Chimp Mafia or something. What's the name of it? Do you guys know it?
Chimpanzee politics?
It's chimpanzee. Yeah, it's like Chimp Empire. Watch Chimp Empire, okay? That will set you so straight when you watch the politics and you realize that we're 99.9 or something like that % related to chimpanzee. And it shows the different status hierarchies and so on and so forth, okay? You guys have seen me put out videos about the winner effect, about how when you're winning it raises your brain neurochemistry and so on and so forth. It's your job to walk around with a high winner effect most of the time. So by the way, I hope that you're enjoying the seminar. And I got to tell you something. One of my favorite places in the world to go out and socialize is San Diego. I'm sitting right out here in the Gaslamp Quarter. I'm in San Diego right now. And guess why I'm out here? We're going to be doing a seminar just like the one that you're watching here out here in San Diego. It's going to be 2 full days. And in the seminar, I'm going to be helping you to build a mastermind group of other people that are here. I'm going to actually help you to network and find like-minded people. I'm going to answer your personal questions, and I'm going to take you out at night for a field trip, actually out here in the Gaslamp Quarter. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go out. We're going to tear it up. It's going to be awesome. Make sure that if you live out here in Southern California, anywhere that you drive in, even if you live in LA, drive in, or fly in. I'd actually recommend that you fly in right here in San Diego to come and attend this free event. Now, if you happen to miss this one, another one that's coming up is Salt Lake City, my first time in Salt Lake. Gonna be awesome out there in winter. I'm actually going out there to ski, doing a completely free event in Salt Lake, another great one to fly in for. After that, I'm gonna be doing San Francisco, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, Hawaii, New York. It's gonna be awesome. Click the link below to get into the free seminar, and I'll see you out at this free event. We're gonna change your life. Back to the video. Look, here's another thing you guys don't know. Women are incredibly loyal. You guys have no idea how incredibly loyal women are. It would blow your mind, okay? How do I know this? I've been flat broke, and I've had many women very loyal to me while flat broke. Women are the kind of people that will sleep with you under a bridge in poverty. That whole thing about women being disloyal is absolutely not true. How do you know this? Because the guys that I know that have the most success with women are club promoters, and most of them are broke living on couches. And it's mostly club promoters. The main guys having success in any given city is a club promoter. I know that shocks you guys. It's true. They just have reach and they have access. And they have social proof. That's the most successful guys. Most club promoters live on couches. They just smoke weed on their buddy's couch. I could show you the Instagram of many club promoters that have a dating life beyond your wildest dreams. Blow your mind if you saw it. Blow your mind. You wouldn't believe it, right? Some guy becomes a doctor, would have less than 1% the success of like a basic broke club promoter. They'd rather be the club promoter. Okay? Think about that. They'd rather be with a broke, idiot club promoter who's a moron than a doctor. That's the truth. So how can you say that women are disloyal over money or that they're superficial? That's not true. But here's the thing. Let's say that who here has ever gone broke in your business and had your girl leave you, brutally leave you at your lowest moment? Put your hand up if you've had that happen. Okay, so most of you guys probably don't even run businesses, but for those of you guys who have, how shocking was it, like at your lowest moment when you needed them the most, and they just bounced? And look, I can't speak for every woman in the world, but generally they're more loyal than you'd ever imagine. But here's why I say this. They're loyal if you don't let it affect you, okay? If you go broke and you have to live literally under a bridge, but you show no sign of being affected whatsoever, no impact on you at all, you still have swagger, you're still laughing, you're still having fun, they will be under that bridge with you, and they'll even love the chance to do it and to kind of brag how loyal they are. They love it, okay? Look, how do I know this? Because I was in a wheelchair, and I had a very good dating life in a wheelchair. And I remember the girls who I dated, they were at different points it came up, I never thought I'd date a man in a wheelchair. I didn't know if I'd get out of the wheelchair. So they thought they're just permanently dating a guy in a wheelchair. And both these girls were like way too amazing for like someone you'd expect me to be able to get. Amazing. Had lots of options. And chose a guy in a wheelchair. And I asked both of them, why is it that you're with a guy in a wheelchair? You know what both of them said? The two main ones I dated during that time? They both said, it's weird, Owen, but you seem unaffected by it, and because you don't care, I don't care. Because you don't care, I don't care. Say that with me. Because you don't care, I don't care. Okay? So that's the thing, right? Like, for example, I remember when I first met the mom of my kids, right? And she's like, I don't like guys with hairy chests. We were like in the hot tub. We hadn't hooked up yet. And I got a very hairy chest and a very hairy back. I'm like a gorilla. So I was like, well, I have a hairy chest. And she goes, well, don't worry, I don't care. I just don't like guys with a hairy back. And I go, yeah? Right? And then it didn't matter, right? Because I don't care, she doesn't care, okay? Likewise, being bald. I don't care, they don't care. They will be loyal if you're loyal to yourself. Repeat that after me.
They will be loyal if you're loyal to yourself.
Yeah, and also loyal to them. Don't break. Don't break. Don't break. Look, now you guys are hearing this, and I know what you're thinking. I'm going to predict what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, why do I want to be involved with someone if I don't perform, if they just leave? Like that kind of stuff. I get that. I get where you're coming from. Look, you guys have love for me, but you guys don't want me to walk in here like a beaten down puppy and burn your night down. You trust me that I'm going to come correct if you're going to be here. For those of you guys that are on the boot camp this week, let's say I went on your boot camp, and all that I had for you is excuses. And you paid me good money to be on that training. Who in here that's on boot camp this week flew in from Europe? Anyone here flying from Europe? Okay. Australia. Okay, perfect. You're from where? London. You flew in from London. You flew in from Australia. Okay, guys, we'll do this a thought experiment. Guys, look, I love you guys. Thanks for paying your hard-earned money to take my training. I'm just not feeling up to the task this week. You know, I have sore feet. I'm a little unconfident. But thanks for your money. Now, you guys would still like me as a human, right? But how do you feel? I'm like, and so just go teach yourselves tonight. How do you feel? Right, now you'd still like me as a although you might even start to hate me a little bit. You're like, I liked you, man. Why are you doing me like this? That's what you're doing when you're playing second best for your partner. That's what you're doing to them. It'd be like if I did that to you. Like, you're like, bro, I love you, Owen, man. Like, bro, I flew here for you. I paid to take the program. I trusted you, man. I trusted you. Lead me, motherfucker. Like, this is your area. This is your optimization. I came to learn your optimization. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing me like this? Like, wouldn't you be pissed?
Yeah, I mean, Matt.
Okay, so look, if I want to just complain about my feet and you weren't paying to take my training, you'd be okay with that, right? If you're not on the training. That's called a friend. Hey, man, like say I called you randomly. I'm like, hey, bro, good to hear from you, man. Can I just vent for a minute? Like, you know, maybe like over like a video call or something. Can I just vent for a minute? Like, man, my feet have been bothering me. And you'd probably be like, oh shit, bro, you know, give me a little massage, you know, man. I love you, bro, man. You'll be good, right? You do that for me. But not, yeah, but supportive, right? So you'd support me if you're not on the training, okay? Now, why is it that on a training you want me to bring it? Because when you do a training, you gave up time and you gave up money, which means that you gave up options. You gave up your life force, your life energy, and your options. So if you have a significant other and you're saying, I just want to be like your boyfriend, like, I'm your boyfriend. It's like, it's fun, you know? Like, we can go on a picnic. I'm just trying to treat you nice. That's not really what you're saying. Let's look at what you're actually saying. What you're actually saying is, hey, like if they're very attractive, hey, you know that guy that would have flown you on a private plane? You're not allowed on the private plane. Hey, you know that guy with the Ferrari? You don't get to go in the Ferrari. Hey, you know that guy who's just in way better shape than me with the washboard abs? No washboard abs for you. And who doesn't like washboard abs? But none for you. Like, my girlfriend is deprived of washboard abs. She will never have a washboard ab. I don't fly private. She could easily be the guy with washboard abs. She could easily be the guy who flies private. Easily. In 3 responses to DMs in her inbox, she could have that. But no private plane, no washboard abs, no hair. Like, you will not make love to a man and run your fingers through his hair. Rather, you will make love to a man 2 decades older than you with a gray Santa Claus-based beard and a pot belly and man boobs. And as you reach around to touch his back hair, okay? That's what you're gonna do, okay? It's not, I'm your little buddy. Like, I just wanna take you on a picnic. I just wanna be nice. We like each other. That's not what that is. That's not what that is. You're shutting down their option. Now, when I say to you, come take my training, what I'm really saying to you is, don't go to Bali for the week. Don't get that couch that you wanted, right? It's not, so our interaction is friendly. I know you got love for me. We've hung out, it's been on trains for, I know you have love for me. I got love for you too. But it's actually inherently adversarial too. You and I, in our coaching this week, live in a paradox between us being friends and me caring about you and having love for you, and you caring about me and having love for me, but having expectations of us raising the bar together, right? I want you to be a great student and to be coachable and to raise the bar and to do awesome. You want me to be a great coach and to raise the bar. So you can view it like, oh, I hate it that if I don't, operate at a high level, my significant other will leave me, or you can view it that she wants you to raise the bar. Lead. You've got to lead. Like, that's part of what it is. So you can be bitter about that, but look, like, if I have a mansion, okay? Do you guys think I lose the money off my mansion? I have a mansion in Hollywood Hills. Do you guys think I lose the money off that or make money off that? What do you think?
Lose money.
I make massive amounts of money off that. I make so much money off that, right? I make so much money off that. I mean, just the mere fact that I could do a couple trainings in it per month pays what I would have paid for a hotel, for a conference room. The fact that I can, have an office in there pays for itself. I mean, the fact that I can post it in social media, I make money off of it. But to be honest, for you guys, for most of you in this room, not everybody, but for a lot of you, if you had a mansion, you had to pay the big bill on that, which for most people is about their yearly salary for 1 month. Would you lose the money or make money off it? For most of you guys here, if you don't have a business,
Lose money.
you lose the money off it, right? So a mansion is meant for someone who can make money off of it, but the mansion is your friend when you're on point. When you're on point, the mansion's your best friend. You got the mansion, you love it. The mansion raises your status. The mansion gives you happiness. When you're on point, the mansion is helping you. What if I go broke? What is that mansion now? Is it my friend or my enemy? How much is that mansion my enemy if I go broke? How much? Come on, guys. I know you didn't read Relentless by Timothy Grover, but you can answer the question. Okay?
Bad.
How bad?
Really bad.
It's a knife in my side bleeding me out. It's killing me. I got to get rid of that thing, right? So if you have a significant other, if she's attractive, it's raising your status. There's many ways to be attractive, personality too. It raises your status. It brings you happiness. It brings you joy. It amplifies your joy, right? Like a mansion. If you have a mansion and you're prosperous, it's going to amplify your prosperity. If you're poor, it's going to amplify your poverty. If you've got a significant other, it's going to amplify your happiness, amplify your status, if you're on the level that you can take advantage of that, if you're at that point. Now look, like, here'd be a simple example, okay? Would it surprise you guys if I told you that I have clients that pay me $1 million a year? Would that surprise you?
Yeah.
It shouldn't. Most coaches, it's very normal for coaches that are a little bit known to have $1 million client. That's completely normal. Because you have guys that have the money and they want a lot of attention. They want a premium program. That's very normal. By the way, I say no to most of those. That's not me trying to sound cool. Why do I say no?
Opportunity costs.
It's opportunity costs, right? It's trading time for dollars. But I'll do it if I like the person, I'll do it on some cases. So now when you guys hear that, y'all are hearing, oh, I'm not going to pay you $1 million for your coaching. Oh, no way. Well, why is it that wouldn't be a good deal for you compared to the people who did it? They know what to do with it, okay? So if I can help get a president elected, would that be worth money? Yeah. Have I ever done that? Yeah. Okay. If I can help somebody to become the richest person in the world, would that be worth anything? Okay. If I can help maybe a guy that has, like, say a $70 million a year business go to $300 million a year, which I've done, would that be, again, like, it's his work, it's his company, but would that be worth it for him? I mean, you watched a guy in 2 years go from 70 million to 300 million. Was that worth it?
Yes. And that skill set don't go away.
They keep the skill set, that's right. Okay? There's a lot of advantages to it. So if that's the case, me as a person, I'm looking for someone who has what it takes to take the value that I have. Okay? To take the value that I have and who can consume it at a level where if I pour into that, they can amplify that. That's helping them. I want to put my time and energy and focus there. Now, don't accuse me of being superficial. I've run more free events than anyone you've ever met. How many hours have you guys been here?
Since 2.
How many hours have you been here so far today?
7.
7 hours. Have you been pitched on any sales for the people at home?
No.
Am I making any money right now?
No.
Okay, so when's the last time you guys gave 7 hours of your time to go help a bunch of people and pay to do it? So I do a lot of stuff for free. I like to help the little guy as much as anybody. I do work pro bono. I don't like to put that out there because there's always some weird value leech just like, give that to me, ah! You know, stuff like that. But someone who I see as a star, but they all think they're stars, but they're not. But the point is, like, I choose that. But like I put out millions a year in free videos for years now, millions in free events. Like, I like to help people. I help people all the time. I pay my team well. I employ people. I have kids. I like to help people. But I also have to look out for myself too. And because I have to look out for myself too as a win-win so that I can be strong for you, who do you think's paying for this room right now, guys? You? Did y'all pay for this room? None of y'all paid for this room. So who paid for it? Somebody who actually sees the value in what I have to offer and is able to take it and to get an ROI off of it, okay? So now, taking that, if you're a woman and you're with a guy, do you want a guy who, like, can get an ROI emotionally, experientially, maybe even financially from you? Or do you want a guy where it's like, he's like, you're just too emotional for me, and like, it's too expensive, and, you know, right? Like, it's just a distraction, and so on and so forth. Like, what kind of guy do you want? If you're a woman. Like, I like having some clients who can get an ROI in what I do. If I was a woman, look, I'm a man, but I have the capacity for abstraction to imagine what it would be like to be a woman. I can imagine that. Not as well as perhaps, you know, certain things are blocked, but I could imagine at least some of it. Some parts I can't. I've tried, my brain won't let me. Okay? So, right? So if you're a woman, do you want to be the man who can't handle your emotional nature? No. Would you want that? I wouldn't want that. I'd say, no, look, I'd be like, look, I have something to offer. Do you want me or not, motherfucker? You know what I mean? Don't sit here accusing me, telling me I suck. Like, if I had a client that just tells me I suck, you think that I'm like so low self-esteem, I'm gonna start qualifying to them and saying, but I'm really good. No, I'm gonna say you can never take a training. Like, here's a refund, you're never coming on a training again, much love. You know, we go our separate ways now. I get very rarely refunded. Almost never ever happens. I'll go years without a refund. But at some point I might get a refund. I'll tell the person, I go, look, I'll send that back to you right now, but just so you know, like, we go our separate ways now. You're not gonna be on training again. They're always like, but wait, I can't take another training. I'm like, no, you tried it, you didn't like it. So you'll get it refunded. I got much love. If I see you out, I'll say hi to you, but you're not coming on another training because I don't give my value to people who don't get the value. Does that make that person bad who didn't get the value? Not at all. Not at all. They're great people. Not at all. So if it's not the correct fit, what should I do with my time if it's not the correct fit? Should I beg them to see the fit?
Find the correct fit.
I should lead prospect to find the correct fit, right? If you're a woman and the guy is not on point, what should you do? If he can't lead you, what should you do? Leave, okay? Now, what's funny is I'll post this video. We're making a video right now, right? You guys know we're making a video, okay? I'll post this. And you will see such little bitches that are gonna say, like, why are you sticking up for the girl? This is like the guy's channel. Yeah, like that, right? Guys, part of being a leader is you have to understand and think into the experience of the person you're leading. If I'm gonna be up here in a seminar room, I'm not just arrogantly sitting up here thinking about my experience. I'm imagining you in this room, what you're experiencing from me. I'm thinking, what was the first thing I started this event with? What'd I do? Tell the audience at home what I did as soon as I started this event. What's the first thing I did? Find out who you are. What'd I do, guys? Come on.
Introduction.
I found out who you are. I want to read your energy. I want to read your vibe. I want to see how I can serve you. I'm not just selfishly going like, I'm not some selfish little like dickhead, like, you know, like, this is my seminar, and I'll do what I want. I don't give a fuck what you want. This is the fucking Owen show, right? I'm not doing that. I'm trying to help you. I care about helping you. That said, though, there's a boundary, right? If it turns out that the ways that I have of helping you are not resonating, I'm not going to keep begging you to receive it. It's a balance between knowing your core strengths and knowing who you can be for somebody and not trying to serve everybody, but at the same time, looking at the people that you are there to serve and better understanding them and how to serve them. Now, where does this go? Okay, so again, and I'm going to tie this together. So if you're a woman, right, and it turns out that your man just can't handle you. He's jealous, he's insecure, he's controlling because he's pathetic. And by the way, that's a real thing. There's a lot of debates on that stuff. Look, I'm telling you, why do you guys think that I'm very, very careful about being jealous or controlling? What kind of experiences do you think I've had when I go out when a girl's boyfriend is controlling or jealous? What do you think is my experience of that?
She comes on to you.
I mean, that's like a slam dunk. Slam dunk, right? I mean, I suppose if you could be that controlling that like they just never left the house, then I guess that would be effective. Well, that'd be terrible. But assuming they're gonna leave at some point, what's gonna happen if you go, it's bad to talk to anybody else. It's wrong. It's naughty to talk to anybody else. Are you naughty? Did you talk to someone at the grocery store? That's naughty and bad. What do you think is the first thing that's gonna happen? I mean, that alleyway is gonna have a party in it, let me tell you that. That public bathroom is gonna have a party, okay? And it's gonna happen quick and fast and furious, and he's never gonna know. He is never gonna know. It's gonna happen within minutes. Oh man, it's gonna happen fast. So be careful what you do, okay? You start trying to control people and stuff like that, you better be careful. Like, if you're gonna do that, I mean, again, never actually do this, but just as like a joke, go all the way if you're gonna do that. Because if they even get away from you for 10 seconds, like, something's about to happen, okay? Because you're fetishizing it. You're turning it into a fetish. You're like, it's wrong to say hi to a guy at a grocery store. It's bad. It's bad, right? Well, it's what happens when they go to get groceries. It's gonna happen. That public bathroom's gonna have a party in it real quick. You might have a kid coming looking not like yours real quick. You know, you might be going down there like, what do I taste in here? That's not mine, okay? So you buckle up, buddy. Just be aware of that, right? You want to be a leader and show that you care. I'm not saying that you can't like have boundaries or standards or things like that. You should have standards, but it's not like, but if it's coming from a place of tangible insecurity where it looks like that's the best that you can get and you're afraid to lose them, they will instinctively feel like they've got to get out of there, okay? So just be aware of that too. So now, again, if I'm spending time thinking how to serve you guys, here's kind of how I'm doing it, okay? Here's how I'm doing it. I'm in here it's a paradoxical nature that I'm here to serve you. I'm here to analyze what you need to learn. So I'm doing things like reading comments on our videos. I'm looking at comments inside of local groups. I'm talking to people on the street. I'm talking to people at the trainings. A part of why I do free events selfishly is to get to know my audience more, to see what they need. So I can speak to your needs and what you want to see. So I'm spending a lot of time in customer service learning how to help you. But what happens if I come up here and I'm not leading properly? And let's say that I walk in this room and I say, hey guys, rather than me auditing you and seeing how to lead you, I'm just here for you. I'm just here for you. I'm just here for you. I just really need you. You're the only clients I have. And I'm just so afraid to lose you. And I don't want to piss you off. And just tell me what you want to learn. And I'll just be like this jellyfish with no solidity at all. I'm just a jellyfish, and I just want to help you with what you want. And that's all that I do. What's going to happen to your ability to learn from me? Nothing. Okay, so here's the thing. Can you guys get the sense that I love you dearly? But if you were to do something, not to piss me off, but if you were to do something right now that would distract from the crowd, I'd kick you out. Can you guys sense that? Yeah. Okay, my own friend, he's one of my friends back there. He had a bit of food right here. What I say right here, this is my buddy. What I say? I'm not giving you a hard time about it. You know I love you. Yeah, but he's my buddy. Well, as soon as I saw even a bite of food in here, which I know will distract, what I do? Hey, hop up, bud. No food, man. Hop up, right? Okay? So it's not about me. I don't care if there's food, but I care about the folks of the audience, right? So let's say that someone in here keeps asking like dumb question after dumb question. Look, I can answer the questions. I'm fine to answer them, but it's going to distract the audience. So I've got to be a leader and go, hey, just take it easy for a sec. And then if I give maybe a second warning, third warning, they got to go. Why do I do that? If I don't do that and someone's doing that, what does that do to you guys?
Loses focus.
Okay, so remember the 5 levels of leadership? Will you guys have my respect if I'm not taking leadership in the room? No. Okay, so what you guys want from me fundamentally is you want me to come up here, you want me to have studied you, to know what you want. Obviously, I can do a way better job on a small, personalized trading for money. This is a free event. It's a broader event that I'm trying to reach more people. But you want me to have studied you. You want me to know how to help you. But at the end of the day, you want me to lead. You want me to kick out any of the bad apples. You want me to make a boundary towards the bullshit and to keep the bullshit out. And in a weird way, if you have bullshit, you kind of want me to kick you out. Yeah. You kind of want me to kick you out. And the reason why, I know that's a weird thing to say. You're like, yeah, like, what, right? But the reason that you want that is because if I can't stand up to you, I can't stand up for you, okay? So repeat this after me. If you can't stand up to her, say that.
If you can't stand up to her,
you can't stand up for her.
You can't stand up for her.
Okay, so if you get all crazy and I'm like, hey, chill, then when someone else gets crazy that's causing you a problem, you can't trust me to do that, okay? So if you have a hard time imagining what it's like to be in a relationship with you, you're kind of the girl in our relationship in this room. But let's say this. Do you find it enjoyable to be around a 2-decade veteran teacher who can take you to the promised land?
Yes.
You find it enjoyable being here?
Yep.
Yes.
That's the experience that you're trying to create for your partner. Okay, so you see the experience that you're in right now where like you're coming along for the ride with me and you're allowing me, like any of you in here can withdraw permission from me being in your head and controlling frame like that. Like if you want to withdraw permission from me, what would you do?
I could just close my eyes or just leave the room.
Yep, speak up.
I could just close my eyes or leave the
Yeah,
room.
so if I were to start wasting your time and not leading properly, you have the right at any point to go, hey man, Owen, you're a cool guy. Like, thanks man, like thanks for trying. I gotta go, right? At any moment you could do that, right? So your partner at any moment can withdraw that leading, right? So the leading and you as a leader, is that like they're like forced to be there, or like are they actually like the sub? You know, like in a sub dom thing? Are they actually the sub?
No.
It's actually equal.
Yeah.
Like right now, if you guys are in this room, are you actually the sub?
No.
Because what can you do if I'm not leading properly?
Leave.
So you have the right to do that, right? Yeah. So I have the right, if you're being a dickhead, to tell you to leave, or warn you, I'd warn you a bunch of times.
He can beat you.
What's that?
He can beat you.
Troy could beat my ass. Yeah. So, okay, Troy could beat my ass. So the point is like you have the right to either beat my ass or you can leave, right? So it's a role, okay? So if you're here, why are you here in this room? Like you guys on the training, and all you guys should be on training, by the way. If you're here in this room, what are you getting here as I'm leading? What's the purpose of it? Is it really that you're some sub letting me dominate you, or what is it? What are you getting from it?
Education.
Good energy, good info, role model, state bomb,
Let's look at it.
laundry list.
I have positional leadership in the room, but again, like, I'm your boyfriend. I'm your husband. You gotta listen to me. I'm a man and you're a woman. What kind of leadership is that? Positional, right? Would you want to listen to someone using positional leadership on you? No. Okay, so it's a BS. It's the lowest form of leadership according to John Maxwell. Permission, you guys are giving permission, right, to let me do my thing. Kind of see where I'm going to take you. See if it's win-win for you. Production, you guys are here hoping that I'm going to produce a result for you. You're hoping to walk out of here with a better result. You guys on the proper training are hoping to walk out of there with a way better result. What you're really hoping for is I'm going to give you a great experience, a bucket list experience, while saving you time and energy. You're hoping that you'll make more money off the training. You're hoping that you'll get more happiness off the training, right? That's production. Also, again, people development. You're hoping that I'm going to help you to develop. And likewise, respect. Ideally, if you guys like what it is that I represent, that energy of what I represent when you're on a training will make you actually step up. Just me being there, you're like, dude, Owen's here. We got to crush it. That's literally what you're doing for your partner. It's just leadership. They're not the sub. Yes, you're leading, but it's not that you're in control ever. It's a dance. It's a dance, okay? You have to think of it as a dance. So if you're being a bad dance partner, like you're not providing the dance, then, you know, their DNA, because they love you so much, their DNA is going to kick in and is going to make sure that they don't have your offspring because you're not able to provide for the dance. So it's your best friend in the world, but also the most fickle friend that you have, because despite how much you may love them and want to cuddle them and have them pander to you and be nurturing to you, you want that nurturing? Well, that's what you crave, right? Like you crave that love, almost like a different variation of a mother's love, right? That makes you feel happy and squishy and secure. But what are you doing on your end? And you're like, no, but I provided the happy, squishy love back. I gave this squishiness back while my business failed and while I was insecure and while I complained and while I allowed bickering and while I allowed them to run the frame and so on and so forth, right? If I come in this room and you flew here to see me and I'm like, I love you guys, like you're on the training, right? I'm like, and I just go, I just love you, bro. I just love you. I can't, my feet hurt tonight. I can't take you out, but I love you. Does that feel even real, or does that feel like a guilt trip that I'm just making an excuse not to step up and do my job?
Yeah, I feel weird.
It feels like a manipulation, right? So do you need to like, do you need for me to like be like have squishy feelings, or do you need me to actually do my damn job? Yeah. But what's funny is like, you know me, you've known me for years. So, you know, if someone said to you, like if you're on my training, you know me, you like me. So you're like, dude, I like Owen a lot. Like, you say that you heard that I was in a wheelchair or I had a bad day. You're like, oh no, man, I got mad love for Owen. I want him to, you know, I want him to be happy. Oh, that sucks. But if you're gonna come on the proper training, you want me to do my job. But is it really that you're like my bitch because you took the training, or am I your bitch? I mean, you guys are sitting here letting me dominate you and run the frame, but I'm the one sweating here under this jacket. Y'all are just in here. So who's the bitch? You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Right? So it's more of a dance. It's that you're both doing something together. That's really what leadership is. And that starts right from the beginning of the social interaction. It just starts right out the gate, right out the jump. So it's a weird feeling to know that, here's the basic distinction. In life, you have what I jokingly call your yuck friends. Yuck friends means your buddies that maybe you grew up with, or maybe some random buddies that you made as an adult, who you can be very vulnerable, you could talk about anything, you could complain, you could be negative. And like, I have friends like that, like people that I've just known for decades, that if they call me up and they just look weak and pathetic, I don't care because I've known them for decades. What is that person's value to me as a 45-year-old father of 3 and a business owner? What is their value to me if I have like an old friend who maybe had a hard day? Where's the value of that for me?
Kinship, friendship.
It's almost like your favorite sports team and you're kind of rooting for your favorite sports team. As human beings, we can have an attachment to a human. You know, like a dog, or like, you know what I mean, right? Like, a human's not a dog, but I'm saying like, you know, like why do we love a dog? Like, why do we love our cat or our pet or a guinea pig or, you know, things like that, right? Even like a baby fetus that you created that doesn't have personality yet. What's that?
Why do you take care of a dying parent?
Why take care of a dying parent? That's exactly it, right? So as human beings, we have a capacity for just to care about people. You know, why do you watch a movie? You know, it's some fictional character running around in a car chase and you're rooting for the character, you know, rooting for Kobe Bryant. Like, we have the capacity to place ourselves into the experience and psychology of another person and to root for them and to care about them, right? We live in this, there was a movie called Ad Astra with Brad Pitt. And one of the big purposes of the movie was showing like, even though we live in this like empty, like wide empty void of space, our shared humanity is back on planet Earth. So human beings have value, right? Even someone that's an asshole, I mean, nonetheless, like when you consider the void of the universe and there's like this person here is kind of a dickhead, still another human being. You know, you wouldn't want them to not exist, right? You see like a bear or a wolf out in nature, right? Like it's another creature that could kill you, but you want it to exist because there's an inherent value to life. Life is rare, life is scarce. We don't even know if there's any other life anywhere in the galaxy than all the telescopes, right? So we can root for another person. You can have a relationship like that with another person. Me and my ex-girlfriend CJ have that kind of a relationship now, a decade after our relationship. I dated her when she was 29. Right now she's 40. So I was with her at age 29. Now at age 29, if I didn't step up, woo, she'll tell you, right? Whoa, you know CJ, woo, okay? Get ready, okay? You show weakness to her, I mean, that's like you're riding the wild stallion, man. It's gonna kick your head in. It's like you get ready to get the hardest kick to the head you've ever seen. You show weakness, get ready. She's got a very strong personality. She wants a very confident man, right? So I'm walking around with like, you know, to my eye, like baddest bitch in anywhere I go, right? But she's got a very strong personality. You know, you have, intimate experience with someone like that, you're never gonna forget. And I had that every day for several years. But, you know, so it's worth it, right? It was worth putting the time. But you act weak around someone like that, you know the feeling of like a horse physically kicking you in the head? She's not gonna kick you, but emotionally, like, get ready, okay? So you couldn't show any weakness. Like, you just couldn't, right? It's just, do not show weakness. Now, her and I have since become great friends. We hang out, like we're just friends. We don't have sex, we're friends. And I can now be weak in front of her and say, oh, I'm stressed. Oh, this happened. Oh, I'm in a wheelchair right now, any of that stuff. She's like, oh my God, Owen, like, let me help you. Like, I could call her and be like, I need to just vent to you for 5 hours, and she would be there and she'd be my best friend. Why is she able to be my best friend now? She's a best friend. No, we have separate lives as well, but the point is, like, why could she be a best friend to me now? But when we're in a relationship, if I would have shown that, get ready for like the emotional equivalent of a horse kick to the head. Yep.
Kind of
Loud.
Getting to your point of like who is the bitch. Statistically, beta male chimpanzees and alpha male chimpanzees have the same amount of stress hormones.
Yeah.
And
okay, I like it. Wait, just wait a sec. Wait, that's good.
You survive.
That's just pause. That's good. I like that. Okay. Yeah. By the way, that's an example of leadership. So let me show you something there. Okay. So I've got what I do when I tell you to pause. If you're losing track of your thoughts and not tightening it, I pause you not because I'm not patient, but because I'm doing that to make sure that we set a standard in the room that people gather their thoughts, so that when people put their hand up, they've gathered their thoughts already, as opposed to formulating their thoughts in mid-room while the whole room has to hear it. But you know I love you, okay? So I'm just showing you, okay? So now, yeah, quick answer, yep.
Yeah, because
Loud.
They gave up options to be with you in that situation.
Yeah,
In your
so
friends, they did.
her boyfriend previous to me would break her off about 100 grand whenever she wanted. She'd just go, baby, give me 100 grand. How much was I breaking her off?
0.
I had a cool crib. She can crash her if she wants. Okay?
Isn't the relationship completely different now? It's not sexual. She doesn't.
That's what I'm getting at. See, her boyfriend right now, her boyfriend Chris, is one of the most famous plastic surgeons in the world. So the point is, like, so I'm not stopping her from being with him. Okay? Now, so check this out. So her boyfriend previous to me was a famous MMA fighter. So I got my little potbelly man boobs and back hair. This man was a savage, wild man with a sculpted physique of granite. Okay? So instead of having sex with a sculpted physique of granite, she's got my little, like, small little ginger dick, like, come and fall asleep with my little vanilla ass, okay? Vanilla skin color, vanilla sexually, right? She's a wild woman, right? So basically, she just gets to have, like, some lame ginger guy that won't even break her off $5. You know, love me from the bottom of her fucking heart, and from the granite sculpted savage man. But she really loved me with all her little heart, you know? She really did. She wasn't thinking about him. I know you guys probably have a hard time believing that. She really wasn't. Her previous boyfriend before that would break her off 100 grand. I remember she asked me in the relationship, she goes, baby, like, how do I get you to break me off a little bit? I'm like, what? I thought she was joking. I laughed. She's like, yeah, with my ex, I would just go like that. You know, just give me like 50K, 100K. I'm like, I thought she was kidding. You know, I'm like, yeah, baby. Right? She's like, how do I do it with you? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is crazy, right? So it's like, yes, don't have sex with a granite chiseled man, famous MMA fighter that you watch savagely beat other men and speaking to every ounce of glee and elation in your DNA. Don't have the guy that breaks you off $100,000. You know, don't date the future famous plastic surgeon who's also like a super good with girls. Just date me, the ginger leprechaun. I run some fun seminars. Look at how much the guys at my little seminar think I'm cool. Okay? So of course when I look weak, she's pissed. Of course when I look weak, she's like, this is bullshit. Fuck this motherfucker. I'm going on the plane. I mean, she got floated out on so many private planes. So, right, so you see what I'm getting at here? Right? Of course she's pissed. Now that I'm not blocking her from a private plane and a granite chiseled man, I can tell her I'm having a bad day and she goes, I love Owen. She calls me the GOAT ex-boyfriend. I love her for that. She's like, you're the GOAT. She tells everybody. Me and her hang out. We're so funny. We're like such a funny couple of exes. We hang out and we're having like the best day. We'll just be hanging out and people come up, they go, how do you guys know each other? And we're both like, this will just happen. We don't even do it on purpose. We're both like, we're exes. And we're like that. And we're very proud of each other, actually. We really love each other. We're proud of each other. So we have a real friendship. You know, we're proud that we had that experience and shared that together. So as a result of that, their minds are blown, right? Like, and we don't even do this on purpose. We just notice it happens. People freak out because they're like, wait a minute, could I be friends with my ex like this? Like, they look so proud. I'm like, she's the best. And like, she'll be like, he's the best. Like, he's the best ex. She'll introduce me to new girls. Like, she'll be like, he's amazing. This is my ex-boyfriend. The girl's like that. And they'll be into me because she told them to be into me. Like, it's kind of crazy. She sends me like, you know, in her Instagram profiles, the girls she's trying to introduce me to, like all this stuff, right? And I support her as well. So we have a real friendship. I can go to her now and be a weak little bitch and she's incredibly supportive, right? So if you're her boyfriend and you're weak and then she's mean to you, what would you instinctively want to say about her? What would you instinctively say? Oh, she's a bitch. She's mean. No, she's not mean. She's not a bitch. She's just mean and a bitch to you. And only when you're being a bitch. I was a bitch in front of her sometimes. So, you know, you live and you learn, right? Now, look, part of the point of having girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever, right, as you grow up is to learn the dynamics, right? She gave me an experience that helped me for my next relationship. And then that girl gave me some experience that helped me for my next relationship, okay? And that's how this stuff works. And a lot of the learning curve for guys especially is learning not to try to make them into your mom. It's not your mom. You already have unconditional love from your mom. That girl has to have unconditional love for the children that she's gonna produce, which means she needs a strong man, okay? So when you understand that it's an actual betrayal of her, then you see, yes, like, have the sensitivity training, you know? Like, I don't even know what sensitivity training is, but the point is like, you know, like read the John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Learn how to be a nicer guy. Because the problem is, when they RAS flip, are they ever gonna say, you weren't being the man? Are they gonna say that? Or are they gonna say, you didn't bring me a flower? What are they gonna say?
You didn't bring me
Yeah, so then how does that deceive you? But they don't know they're doing it. But how does that deceive you? And maybe sometimes it could be true. But how does that kind of mess you up? How does that deceive you? Because okay, look, I'm gonna drop a gem on you here, okay? I'm gonna drop a gem, okay? I was even just meeting with an ex-business partner of mine earlier today, and his wife left him 5 years ago. And he even said to me today, he's like, I learned that because I wasn't sensitive enough, that is why my wife left me. And so I spent the next several years really working on myself to learn how another person feels. And I'm like, bro, she didn't leave you from that. She left you because you're a bitch. Right? He doesn't know that, right? So he took the bait and spent years learning how to be a nicer little syrupy guy, okay? Now, does that mean not to do that? Look, again, if I'm actively spending time learning how to serve you and learning how to help you, I'm being a nice guy. But I have to use equal measure to be able to public speak and to be able to have a good curriculum and to know what your sticking points are and to lead you. And even on a training like this training here, which is a free training, I've got to be a good leader and I've got to put an energy and attention. There has to be an active creation of tension in the room that you're going to learn. Do you guys notice that in this room, you're learning from this speech 100 times more than you learn from the teachers in your grade school or teachers in your high school that didn't know how to hold attention?
Yeah.
Are you noticing yourself paying way more attention?
Yep. Yeah.
Do you feel right now like if you stop paying attention that I'll look in your eyes and I'll call you and say, wake up? Can you feel that?
Yes.
Well, how is that me being mean to you or is that helping you? Okay, it's helping you to learn, right? So ironically, that mean thing, okay, the mean thing where you're holding tension is actually providing leadership to help that person to raise the bar and for you to raise the bar together. Why be together if we're not going to raise the bar? Like, why go meet for lunch if we're going to sit there derping? What's the point of that? You already have enough friends to do that with. You already have that, okay? Especially if you're going to take a real training, you don't need that. You've got that, right? My ex-girlfriend CJ, she has other people to just hear them complain. She doesn't need that from her boyfriend, okay? She has enough of those. So your girlfriend has enough guys like that. She's got enough of them, okay? So I think you can, quote unquote, jokingly using the word simp. You can simp, but it has to be coming from the right place, okay? Like my current girlfriend, I probably spent half my mental bandwidth just thinking of ways to simp for her. I really do. Like I'm an amazing simp, okay? Like amazing as a simp. I'm saying this to shock you. You guys are like, oh my God, simp? Oh my God, don't be a simp, don't be a simp. No, you're not understanding. Be the simp, but pair that with leadership. I'm a simp for you guys. When I went out 4 to 7 nights a week to be the best at my craft, when I spent $3-4 million a year to make free videos, when I did free events in 265 cities and 75 countries around the world, I'm a simp for you. I'm your simp, okay? I love you. I love you guys, okay? I'm your simp. But, okay, I'm putting in a real effort for you. I don't go out 4 to 7 nights a week for me. I already have success. Why am I going out almost every night of my life?
To stay sharp, to teach it.
Yeah, stay sharp, to teach it. So who's that for?
Us.
I'm your simp. You thought you never had a simp? Here's your simp. You're sitting in a free seminar all day. I am a simp for you. But you're not, hopefully, you guys are getting you thinking maybe a little bit here, right? But hopefully, what am I pairing that with?
Leadership.
Leadership, right? So I'll be your simp, but what happens if you don't take my lead? You're gone. Likewise, you'll be in here accepting leadership, but if I don't lead properly, what happens? You're gone. Why do you guys think I like to do free events to make videos as opposed to just talking to camera? Could I speak at this level just into a camera?
No.
So what are you guys doing for me? What is that giving me in how I'm talking to you now?
Energy.
It's actually making me step up. I'm giving a better version of myself. I'm exerting myself more because you're here. So that's why I created the free tour. I made the free tour for many reasons, but to help you guys too. But selfishly, I made the free tour because I knew that I would step up and I would be better. If I go to a bar club and I'm working on swagger, I will get better at being funny and social and talkative at a bar, club, or a party than sitting in a room talking to a wall. If you want to lead a woman, what is it about it that makes you want to lead a woman? You also want to be better. Is your fantasy just to leech off the woman? Or is your fantasy that you actually want to be, like, her presence would actually kind of enliven you? Right? Like you walk into a restaurant, instead maybe you walk with your guy friends, or, you walk in by yourself and you're just like, you walk into a restaurant by yourself, you're like, hey, yeah, table for one. Yeah, it's just me. Cool, yeah, thanks. Sitting there kind of like, just kind of looking at your phone, stuff like that, right? You all act like that, right? It's okay, it's normal. Come on, admit it, you do that. You guys can barely even read books, right? So I know you do it, okay? But when you're with your girl, how do you act?
Different.
You're enlivened, right? You got a little pep in your step, right? You're cranking jokes. You're mad funny. Like, how am I this funny? She's drawing that out of you. She's drawing your sense of humor out of you. She's drawing your voice out of you. You walk up to the person in the front. Hey, good to meet you. What's your name?
Taylor.
Hey, table for two, Taylor.
Thank you. You got it.
Thank you, Taylor. You know what I'm saying? You might even give Taylor a tip. You never would have done that if she wasn't there, right? And you give her that tip to Taylor, you feel good. You're like, I'm the man. I'm being the man right now, right? So same as me. If I'm here and you guys are at my seminar, I get to feel like the man. I get a chance, an opportunity to lead. But I've got to earn that, okay? But I've got to earn that, but you've got to earn it. So it's a combination of deep, deep empathy. I'm jokingly call it a simp. Don't be a simp for real, but I'm jokingly call it a simp. But at the same time, having really big boundaries. And there's a tension between the two. So then what happens is, I think a lot of guys, they see the RAS flip, right? And that's kind of the hidden thing I think burns a lot of guys. Girls get burned by this stuff too, by the way. But if you've been RAS flipped a couple times, man, you get jaded. Like, you see where your best friend in the world RAS flip you, and you are jaded. I mean, it is like, you just want to be alone for the rest of your freaking life. You're like zapping him, right? It's like, it's my boy right here. It's like, whew, I am done. Like it almost gets to the point that you can't even find the energy or the will to sit at dinner with somebody and put on that whole song and dance anymore, right? It'd be like if every time I did a seminar here and I just got burnt and like, eventually I'm like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. But imagine that it's you guys sitting here, right? And you're giving me your time. You're allowing me to lead. But then all that I could do is complain that you guys suck. What would that make me look like if I'm just like, no, I've done free events. These guys suck. What would that in effect be communicating to you guys? What would that be sub-communicating to you guys if I go, yeah, I do free events, these guys suck? What would that be sub-communicating to you guys?
It's not worth our time. Not taking ownership.
It kind of looks like I suck. Because in your mind, you're like, I've sat in on seminars. I've been a good audience member. I can be led. What's to say about, like for example, I am often in the audience. I pay for a lot of mentorships. If I'm about to pay a high-end mentor for mentorship, and then he says to me, I don't like teaching anymore. The students are all bullshit. What does that tell me as maybe thinking of taking that guy's mentorship? Kind of just, am I like, wow, people suck, and he's the good one? Am I doing that? No. What am I thinking?
He probably sucks.
Yo, this guy sucks. This guy can't control frame. This guy don't got it going on. He's getting, his clients are questioning him. His clients are dogging him out. He doesn't know how to run a room. And the big key is, repeat this after me, not ready. Not ready for prime time. For prime time. That's what it is, right? Not ready for prime time, baby. Not ready for prime time. And the funny thing is, like, you learn how to be ready for prime time, okay? Do you guys see me walk in here and it's like, do you get the sense I'm ready for motherfucking prime time?
Yeah.
Why am I ready for motherfucking prime time? Why?
Reps.
I put in the reps, right? I've been here. This is like my gazillion seminar this year, like whatever it is, right? 50th, I don't know what it is. So I'm ready for prime time, right? I've had the experience where, I put up $100,000 to record Blueprint Decoded back when you couldn't just buy your own cameras easily. And I can't sleep the night before. And I know this is the most important recording of my life. I've spent 5 years building out this product, and I spent $100,000 to bring in the camera team, and I'm shit fucking scared, and I can't sleep. And I wake up. You guys ever seen Blueprint Decoded? Yeah. I didn't sleep the night before, okay? And I wake up, and there's these big-ass cranes and shit. Remember the crane in that thing? Yeah. Right? I'd never seen them like that. I'm like, look at the fucking crane, man. I'd never seen 1080 cameras. It's back with 1080 cameras. I'm like, I'm under 1080 cameras. Look at the fucking crane. This is a fucking $100,000. If I fuck this up, I'm fucking fucked. Okay? And I'm scared. Okay? I've had it before. I'm running events in New York. There's like 1,000 people there. And there's famous celebrities in the audience that will maybe do business with me. And I'm exhausted because I maybe, I had a weird, New York, like it can be really loud when you get a hotel, right? It's just like honk, honk, and loud. And I can't sleep that night. I'm a bit nervous for the event. And I walk in, there's 1,000 people there just for you, Owen. And back then it would have been Tyler, right? And I walk in, and, I'm looking at celebrities in the crowd. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm fucking scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking scared. And you go in, and I've had a pretty good track record of crushing those. But in truth, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right? Likewise, you have a significant other and you lose frame and the dynamic starts to slip and you lose them as a partner and you see them losing faith. You're a leader, maybe you run a business and your team loses faith. Look, that's part of the process of getting better. That doesn't mean to give up on that process. That doesn't mean to become the lonely guy that just forevermore walks in the restaurant, hey, table for one. I can't meet anybody. It's hard out there. I'm not good enough. Oh, they're just a bunch of bitches. Oh, right? So instead, it's a learning curve, right? So look, it's a lot like this. You ever see those videos where it's like a wolf pack or a coyote pack, and the younger coyote or the younger wolf tries to mate with the tribe, and then the alpha comes in and beats his ass and sends him out in the woods? What does he eventually do? Come on, what's that little coyote do? Okay, he gets kicked out the tribe because he tried to mate with the alphas. with the alpha's harem, right? Goes out into the woods by himself. And what's he do?
Comes back stronger.
He fights, he hunts, he's alone, right? And that's your thing as a man. You're going to be alone. You're going to get dumped. You're going to get cheated on. You're not going to know that you got cheated on because you're not aware of what to look for, but you've all in this room probably been cheated on. It's that common. It's that common. So you're probably going to get cheated on, get dumped, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to get our ass flipped. And then you've got two choices. You can become the coyote that goes, oh, the alpha male got me. Oh, I'm never going to be the alpha. It's just a hard world out there. Oh, those females are crazy these days. Oh, let's look at my weird podcast complaining about them and finding solace in my little silo of negativity. And you can do that. That's up to you. Or you go out, you become stronger, you make mistakes, you lose frame, you make mistakes, and it's an ongoing journey. And over time, you come back and you're stronger. And maybe you get in your next relationship, maybe you see the acting out, or you see the bullshit. Like something as simple as like the food thing that I was kind of joking with my buddy about, right? How many times, I'm just fucking with you, but like how many times do you think I've had it where like an audience member comes in, starts to eat food, the smell starts to waft in the room, and I'm like, I don't want to say anything, I don't want to be rude. Then you start seeing the audience members like that, they all start getting fucking hungry. You see them trickling out. The guy's going, right, he's fucking your video up. How many times did that had to happen before the Owen of today, hey, my man, no, right, like that? How many times do you think that's had to happen?
Quite a few.
50, 100, until my brain like made the connection, like, Owen, they won't mind, it's not a big deal, just ask and they'll be cool, okay? Now I'm taking this further, right? Like, for example, when I do free events, my main goal is to get a video. I remember I was in a room in Seattle last year, and there was a guy who like didn't want to be in the crowd. He's like kind of at the back of the room, didn't want to be in the crowd. Make sure, Ibrahim, that everyone's in the crowd, by the way, okay? Maybe do a little bit of that, okay? Get in the crowd, or you're about to get kicked out, okay? For real, by the way, I'm not kidding. Yeah.
I understand.
Oh, I need you to have a seat, my man.
I understand.
Then you gotta leave. No, leave. Leave right now. Or sit in the next 2 seconds. Take your pick. Okay, cool. Okay, so do you see the, okay, give me a hand, guys. Look what I did there, okay? See that? Now sit or I gotta kick you out. And I would. Right, so there was a guy in the back of the room, he doesn't want to sit. I said, okay, you gotta go. Right? That's personal development for me. Because I'm like, okay, think about this. I'm doing a free event, right? The only purpose in you being here is, no more talking. Okay, so the only purpose, and you know I love you. I'm doing this to give you guys an example. So the only purpose in being here, look how much she's smiling. See, it's like a girl. So the only purpose, he loves it. Look how happy he is, okay? So the only purpose in me doing a free event, the only value you guys have to add for me is to give me a crowd shot. So if I'm spending thousands of dollars to bring in my staff, to get a video, to edit the video, to put it out, and someone goes, no, I will not be a body in the crowd. I will sit here, get what I want, and I won't even let the back of my head be in your video. What does that say about me if I allow that?
Weak frame.
It's just a weak frame. I'm a bitch. Let me tell you some stories about this. One of the best videos I ever did, it was in Seattle, like 15 years ago. And there's this guy at the front of the room, and he had this bobblehead like this. He kept doing this the whole time. It's an old video where I'm wearing a blue, like a blue blazer, okay? Like a light blue blazer. You can maybe find the video, okay? And the whole time, the guy's just doing this, like he's just doing this. And I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, that's gonna be kind of distracting for the viewer, right? Like he just keeps doing this, right? And I felt bad because he's into it, right? He's loving the content. I don't want to tell him like, yo, don't like stop vibing, bro. But the problem is, it's like a very emotional, very dense seminar, and you got this guy at the front kind of doing this, and like you just know that's gonna fuck that seminar so bad, right? Well, sure enough, that video did 250,000 views, and half the comments are about the fucking bobblehead, okay? I had another one where a guy's got a fucking Tickle Me Elmo hat on, right? And it's like in the way of the seminar. And again, like I think that one was like 360,000 views. And half the comments are like, look at the fucking Tickle Me Elmo guy, like up in the front. I'm like, fuck this Tickle Me Elmo. Because I wouldn't tell one guy to move, I've now got to endure all these people that can't even receive the message because this motherfucker wants to dress like fucking Tickle Me Elmo and he can't move over 6 inches. So from the pain, the tangible, spiritual, emotional, physical pain that I've had from that, you learn, you go, when you see the Tickle Me Elmo motherfucker, just ask him to move 6 inches. Tickle Me Elmo will be quite jolly. It's Tickle Me Elmo. How could he be mad? So you learn just like, man, just tell him to move, right? And then he moves and he's happy and everybody's good. And if tickle me elbow won't move, he's got to go. Okay? But the funny thing is, just like with you with fighting, right? When you know how to fight, do you actually notice, because you know martial arts, that when you walk in a room, if you just even look at someone a little bit, they can sense, like, do not fuck with this guy, right? Isn't that the best thing about learning fighting, is that you don't have to fight, right? So if you have a boundary, people can actively sense whether or not you have a boundary. They just sense it. When I used to run, let me give you another example, okay? When I used to run boot camps, my old trainings, half the damn training was begging people to go say hi to people in round. Begging them. I'd be like, no, come on, man. Don't be afraid. And they go, I'm not doing it. That was probably out of a 3-day, I used to do 3-day trainings, but they're longer now. Out of the 3-day trainings, that would have been a day and a half of the training, okay? Begging them to do the things I was asking them to do. Later, I had this epiphany that at the beginning of every event that I did, I would say, listen, we have a set of ground rules on this training. One of them is, I'm not going to argue with you. If I have to argue with you and beg you to do the things I need you to do, you're off the program. That solved that issue. People actually just started going in. They stopped being annoying. But you know what's funny? Over the years, I don't say that stuff anymore. It would be, when you hear me saying that, like imagine you're doing a training with me and I'm like, hey guys, listen, if you're not going to go in, like I have to kick you off the program. It would almost look like I'm lowering myself. Why is that though? Why am I there now as opposed to before? What's changed now?
Because you've ingrained that energy in your body, it just exudes without you even saying that.
Yeah, ingrained the energy in my body, it exudes. People feel it. I haven't had a client argue with me in years. I go, here, go in. They go, done. Why? You remember the 5 levels of leadership? What's the top level? Respect, right? Why is it so important for a man to have respect in his relationship?
Not a leader without it.
Can't lead.
Not a real leader.
Not a real leader, right? So what I'm seeing happening now in society is you're basically seeing where this stuff isn't really taught. And with society changing to where, I think about 65% of college grads are women, not blocking you from building a business, by the way. But 65% of new jobs women. Again, not blocking you from building a business. I mean, look, if you know me and I teach how to build businesses, it's not blocking you from anything. So don't complain, okay? That might affect the average person. It doesn't affect you at all, by the way. You shouldn't even be trying to get a job. So you're fine, okay? They can have their job. Go work your little job. But if that's happening, maybe guys have the social conditioning as toxic, whatever else, right? And so you get some of that. And if we don't have these kind of lessons, then what you see is society's just unraveling. It's just unraveling. The birth rates are plummeting. Society's unraveling. And so what's going to happen is we're going to have to revisit this stuff. Like we've thrown out the baby with the bathwater, right? Now, the 1950s style relationship, it was like one man, one woman, no casual dating. I'm sure there was some casual dating behind the scenes, like always. Nature will find a way, as they say in Jurassic Park. But you know my point, right? Like that was more the social standard. What kind of leadership was that kind of structuring in the system for men? What kind of leadership? Louder. Louder. Positional, right? So when you see guys complaining that they want to return to the 1950s, what kind of leadership are they looking to bring back? Positional leadership, right? I demand a return to positional leadership. Now, even as a guy, I bet you're hearing that and it pisses you off that it's not like that. Why can't it be like that? Put yourself in a woman's headspace. Do you guys want me using positional leadership to run this event?
No.
When you're saying, when a man is saying, I want a return to the 1950s, what is he really communicating to that woman?
He's lazy.
He doesn't got what it takes. He doesn't got what it takes. He wants positional leadership, right? If I start complaining to you guys now saying, a lot of students are bad and I've been really burned by students and you guys should just listen to me. It's my seminar. It's my seminar. I'm the seminar leader. It's mine. You have to listen to me, right? What does that communicate to your brain?
Not a good teacher.
Like, this motherfucker sucks. What am I doing here? What am I even doing here? Okay? So when you're asking for a return to positional leadership and you're pissed about it, what you're really saying is you don't got what it takes. So look, if you're dating or being a leader in a business or being a leader in a group of friends or running a charity, whatever it is that you're doing, maybe just running a organization of friends, whatever it is, a group of friends. If you're being a leader and you fail and maybe you do get RAS flipped, it hurts. Look, it's gonna hurt bad. Like, you're gonna get hurt real bad, okay? You're gonna fall in love, you're gonna open up, and you're gonna get hurt real bad, okay? Let me be clear here. That coyote that gets his ass whooped has to leave the tribe, go solo into nature, is gonna get his ass whooped, okay? He's gonna get cuts, he's gonna get bit, he's gonna get poison ivy. I don't know if coyote get poison ivy, I'm just making shit up, okay? He's gonna get fucked up. And someday, it's the return of the king. And he's gonna come back there to that alpha male coyote, who's a bit older, and he's gonna beat the shit out of him and come back and take over. And thus is the cycle of life, because someone will do it to him eventually, right? But that's his moment. Well, you're younger and you're getting hurt real bad. You could be older, by the way. Just, maybe you're older, maybe you're 50 and you're still learning because you're just late to the party. That's fine. It's never too late. But if you're going through your learning curve, if you're in your learning curve and you get hurt real bad, expect it. I've been hurt real bad, guys, okay? Real bad. By guy friends that RAS slipped me in business, by women that I dated. I've been hurt real bad. But repeat this after me, you either get bitter or better. Say that.
You either get better or better.
Okay, so I accept that as a cycle of life. I accept that I was pretty much dating women that were way too hot for me. It's true. I've been dating women that were way out of my league since I was 22. Way too hot for me. And I could put on a good song and dance for the first hour, maybe for the first couple days, and then the jig was up. And it hurt. It really did hurt. But what did those women give to me by being in even a 3-day relationship with me when they were way past my level? And don't go, oh no, you shouldn't have low self-esteem. Oh, they were past my level. Like, I promise you, look at a picture of me, look at a picture of them. One of these things does not belong. It's me, okay? So, right, I tangibly not on their level. But what did they do for me by even staying with me for a couple days?
Teach you lessons.
What'd I get from it? I got a chance to be in that position. They gave me that chance. So they gave you that chance. Look, if you had someone that's very attractive talk to you in a bar or club for 10 minutes, but you're not really at that level to be with them, are they mean for walking off? Were they nice for even talking to you for 10 minutes to give you a little bit of exposure and practice to interacting with them so that you can learn? So expect that you're going to get your ass whooped. Expect that you're going to get your heart broken. Expect that you're going to get hurt. That's part of the cycle of life that would be in any mammalian species. Every mammalian species, the dude gets his ass whooped, other alpha males whoop his ass, the females say no, shove him out, that's completely normal. He has to go off into his motherfucking cave, build himself up, and then there's the return of the motherfucking king. Say, return of the king.
Return of the king.
It's true, and you come back, right? And you'll come back, and here's what's gonna wind up happening when you come back. You'll get to the point where not only is this not a problem for you anymore, the problem that you're gonna have is that you could be dating people, and so many of them are in love with you, and maybe you decide to get an exclusive relationship, and you have to make some really painful phone calls to people that really wanted to be with you. And they're gonna cry. And you'll have a significant other that is so obsessed with you that even when you go to the bathroom, they miss you. And they would go to the end of the earth for you. And even if you go broke, as long as you don't let it affect you visibly in front of them, they're gonna sleep with you under a bridge. So that's the learning curve. But here's the real truth. Just like an NBA team that wins an NBA championship, and maybe in the next, like one of the hardest things to do is what's called a three-peat, right? Lakers did it, Kobe and Shaq. Michael Jordan did it twice. Why is a three-peat so hard?
Good places.
It's hard because once you've won one championship, you're a famous millionaire, and the level of discipline that it takes to win it again when you've already won is hard. What if you've won twice? Do you know how hard it is and how much discipline it is to win a championship? How hard is that? It's physical conditioning, mental conditioning, cohesion in the team, ball movement, cardio, muscle strength, not being demoralized. And you're going deep, by the way, you're going deep into the postseason, right? All the other teams get a long summer vacation. You barely even get a vacation. To do that 3 times in a row rarely happens because you're not motivated enough. So what can happen is, you've got it. Like you're in frame, you're confident, you're dominant, you're a leader. And what happens is when it gets too easy for too long, little habits slip. And I've had that happen. I've been older and I kind of just fall off. And you wind up losing your significant other. And you're like, what did I turn into? Like, I thought I had this. I really thought I had this, right? But, you know, for me, I didn't come out the box as a leader. This was learned for me, okay? This was learned. So I kind of came up as like as beta as they get, you know, as chumpish as they get. So I learned a lot of this stuff. So I've had experiences where I fell back into old habits. I'd love to tell you that I'm this perfect, you know, holding myself out as this ultimate role model who's never had a problem like that. I'd love to tell you that. That's not the truth of who I am. That's not my life. So I've fallen back into it, and you will fall back into it because, to be honest with you, like, if you're someone who's kind of a shy chump, look, I don't mean to be mean, but there has to be a recognition that that kind of never was meant for you. That wasn't really meant for you, right? What do we know about reproduction with mammals? What percentage reproduce?
30.
It's like 30%, right? So if you're not in that upper percent, that kind of never really was for you, okay? Even if you took a little course, okay? You watch a YouTube channel. It never was meant, give me one second, it never really was meant for you. But here's what's crazy about it. It can be meant for you, right? Like if you came up in poverty, is there a lot of social mobility for people in poverty in most cases? No, that's kind of just like a lie that rich people say to make them not revolt. But you can break the mold. Like you can be poor and come up in poverty, and you can be rich. But you're gonna have a lot of conditioning in there, right? Your uncle smoked crack. Your other uncle was like, you know, assaulting your niece, and you know they're alcoholics and they're drunks and they're abusive and they're in and out of jail and they're doing all this bad stuff. And you come up in a culture like that, and you want to shift your thinking to the psychology of a wealthy person who's calm, at peace, positive, resourceful, not complaining, sober, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of trauma and conditioning that can pull you back. But if you focus on it, how glorious is that journey if you really focus on it? Like if you actually focus on it, how glorious is that? You actually come out of the inner city or even out of just middle class and you go to the top. How much are you gonna appreciate it when you do that? Are most people gonna do it? No, right? Are most chumps ever gonna get really great at relationships? No. And the truth is, and this is the sad truth that's gonna piss you off, without the crutch of positional leadership, it's pretty much over for most guys. Like the era of the mid guy is done. It's over. I'm sorry to tell you that. I warned you guys of this. Decades ago, I warned you guys about this. I knew as soon as we saw social media, we went, wait a minute, the era of the mid guy is over. They don't have an incentive anymore to be with you. Look, take the average girl that lives in a city like LA, what's the rent in LA? What's the rent in New York? What's the rent in Miami? The rent for a basic one bedroom. Maybe 3,500? That's a pretty crappy one too. That's not even a good one.
That's like a 2-bed shell. Max.
Not even a good one, right? So if you're paying 3,500 and you're supposed to, and if you're supposed to put 30% of your money as rent, what would that mean that they'd have to be making after tax to be able to afford that? 10,000 after tax. What's that pre-tax in California?
Like 15.
It's like 50 to 20, right? So they'd have to be. So how many girls that are 22 are making $250,000 a year at their job?
Not many.
So unless they've got rich parents, who's paying for that? Right? Most of my female friends are on those sites. And then they've got one. And by the way, the guy who's paying the bill, it's not like some super ugly, gross guy. It's usually guys that look kind of like me. You know, kind of average, little extra dad bod, little thinning hair, but not bad. Pretty confident enough to make all that money to pay them. So it's not, so like, would you take 20 grand a month to have sex with like, I don't know, a 40-year-old 7? For 20 grand a month?
Hell yeah.
How many of you guys in this room would take 20K a month to have sex with like to have good sex with like an average, like decent looking average girl who's 40? You get paid 20 grand a month? Well, they would too. They would too. They'll do it too, right? And then when they're outside of that weekly meeting, they get to go meet up with the guy for free who they really like. Right? So then you want to get a significant other, what are you really saying? You're saying like they can't even afford to be your girlfriend. And you're not even as good as the 6'4" Giga Chad that they see on 2 a.m. on a Wednesday. You're not as good looking as a Giga Chad, and you don't have the money of the sugar daddy. So where do you even, where does that even shake out? That's what's happening right now, okay? That's what's actually going on. Why did that happen? Because when the men get weak, chaos ensues. Men became collectively bitches. Men collectively threw up the white flag and said, what about positional leadership? And here's what guys don't get. When guys hear this, they have a knee-jerk reaction of return to collectivism. They go, no, we got to put our foot down. But here's the truth. It's not going to happen. It could eventually. It could return to that eventually. But it's not likely to happen now. So whether or not in some theoretical universe where, like, you rose up and, like, we return to positional leadership, okay? Aside from some unrealistic reality where that happens, here's another way that you could interpret what's going on. If you're somebody who craves a return to positional leadership, what is that ultimately saying about your belief in yourself? Let me ask you another question. Do you prefer capitalism or communism?
Capitalism.
If communism would pay you $100,000 a year to only work 3 hours a day, who here would take it? $100,000 a year, 3 hours a day. Who here would take it? I wouldn't take it. Why wouldn't I take the 3 hours a day for $100,000 a year?
Everyone else will do it too.
I wouldn't take it because I believe in myself to do better. Here's what you guys don't realize. I like the way things are. I like how brutal it is. Why do I like it? Why am I not offended by it or upset by it?
Checks us.
Because I'm the beneficiary. In a world where you didn't have upside, would a 45-year-old man be dating a 21-year-old model? No, I'd be dating my equal. So I don't want that. I don't want it to be easier. I like there to be some effort, right? In addition, what did I learn by being forced to step up?
Everything.
I mean, me sitting here in front of you in this room, how much fun is it for me to be up here being the way I am here? How much fun is this? Well, how much fun is it learning how to lead in your relationship?
A lot of fun.
Isn't it kind of cool that it's tough and that you do have to go through something and that there's a payoff and that most guys are too weak to do it and you just get to destroy those guys that are weak bitches? Isn't that kind of fun? You don't wish that on them. Frankly, I so don't wish that on them that I run courses to help. But I'll throw the ladder down, but you got to walk up the ladder, right? So I'm trying to show you things that are going to piss you off. It's going to make you mad. It's going to piss you off. But here's what I would say in summary. Be aware of who it is that you're dealing with. Be aware that they have the capacity for friendship and unconditional love, but you get that either A, by being a friend, where you're not having sex with them and depriving them of options, then you can get that from them as a friend. Or you get that by actually doing your damn job. When you do your damn job, you will punch above your weight. Say the word punch above your weight. I mean, you will punch way above your weight. I mean, you will be the most average schmuck doing so much better than you should ever be able to do. Just like in a capitalist society, you could be from the inner city and become a billionaire. You actually can if you learn what you're doing. So if you're ever pissed off by the way things are, it's because you are a loser in that dynamic. What kind of people want communism? In most cases, right? Look, this is a broad issue. I get it, it could be a time and a place for everything. Who knows? But you see my point, okay? So you've got to ask yourself, if you get pissed off by these things, like when I walk into a bar or club, am I mad that having high status and being mentally strong is awesome? Am I mad about that?
No. Hell no.
Am I just wish they'd be nice? When I'm in a capitalist system, am I like, I just wish I could kind of tap out and just take the $100,000 for the 3 hours work? Like, what's that gonna get you in LA? What's $100,000 gonna get you in LA? It's like 3 months rent, actually. So, okay, actually.
$100,000 a year?
Yeah, my typical rent would be $50,000 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 2 months of rent. So, it depends where I'm living.
$100,000 a month.
I've lived in places 100 G's a month as well. Yeah, so I do adult parties, and again, oh, $100,000 a month in rent. Oh my God, did I make money or lose money off that? So I was in a position to make money from that, right? Likewise, if you're in a position to benefit from the way that it is, like just in nature, you benefit from that. So you've got to ask yourself a question like, do I want to be somebody who benefits from the way things are? And like does Leo DiCaprio like go on a forum and complain about Modern women?
No.
Like, this is bullshit, man. This fucking sucks, man. This is fucking bullshit, man. I want to return to the 50s. No, he's not doing that. Why is that?
Kill it.
Because he's not the loser in the equation, okay? So we have a collectively, and this will be sort of like a point that I want to make for post-death. Collectively, guys are going to have to figure out some things, okay? You're at a fork in the road. Do we want to take it as a fork in the road? Do we want to go back to the 50s, okay? Regression, back to the 50s, okay? Where we have a return to positional leadership. Or, here's an idea. Here's a novel idea. How about this? You guys ready for a novel idea? I got a cool idea to table to you, okay? How about instead of just people like me, some weird little Yahoo doing a niche of this kind of content, why don't we take this content mainstream? What happens to America as a country, or my beloved Canada? What happens as a country if this goes mainstream?
People can't be controlled anymore.
Be the most prosperous empire in the history of the world.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, they probably can be controlled still.
It would become the most prosperous empire in the history of the world. Okay? We take this mainstream, most prosperous empire in the history of the world. And what you also have to understand is China, with collectivism, they're stepping up, right? And so what's going to happen is as China steps up with collectivism, social credit score, you should look that up, cameras everywhere, zero rights to the individual, they're stepping up. And so what's happening is America, with their so-called free system, which is not entirely a free system, but more free, what's happening is it's become top-heavy. Capitalism has become so successful that it's a victim of its own success. And it's turning into, like, you know that movie WALL-E?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of fat people in a wheelchair staring at a screen?
Yeah.
It's like kind of end of the empire kind of vibes, right? You remember Rome at the end of the empire, what it looked like? You should look that up. We're giving end of the empire vibes. It's when you remember that expression? Bad times create strong men create good times create weak men create bad times. Where in the loop are we?
We're in bad times.
Weak men create bad times.
Great times make weak men. And weak men make bad times. So what's going to happen is China, with collectivism, is going to go up and up and up. And then freedom is going to come into question. And you're going to have a bunch of weak people here that are going to beg to be enslaved, looking at their lifestyle. Head of China told Joe Biden, we will own your country in 15 years. You think he's joking? That's not some internet commentator. That's the head of China. So when you see something like a guy that can't even get a girlfriend, and that's the average guy, and the birth rate is falling, what is that a canary in the coal mine of?
Fall.
Your own enslavement. So in other words, we're at a fork in the road. And that fork in the road is this. We can go, I just want to return to positional leadership so I can be a weak bitch, and I just wish it was like it was before. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, you could do that. Or what you could do is you could say, wait, this has to be mainstream. Okay, look at what you just learned in 2 hours. Okay? This was just 2 hours. Look at what you learned in 2 hours. Imagine what people in the proper training are going to learn. Here's what I had the epiphany of recently, okay? I'm a fucking piece of shit. And you want to know why that is? I realize that what I teach is so fucking important, it shouldn't be charged money for. What I teach should not be for pay. It's too important, okay? You know what I'm like? I realize this over time. You ever seen that guy, who was the dude that had like the AIDS medicine and then and he went to jail because he tried to raise the price and he got in trouble? Was it Martin Shkreli or whatever?
Martin Shkreli.
Yeah, Martin Shkreli, right? You know, I'm sure he's demonized in some ways. I've met his ex-girlfriend.
Piece of shit.
Well, I'm sure people are always a mixed bag, I feel like, right? I feel like people demonize me sometimes, so I never assume I know somebody. But what I'm saying is but he did some bad stuff, right? So Martin, he was known as bad because he's got the remedy for HIV, and he's raising the price. I think it was HIV, whatever it was, right? I feel like what I've got's even more valuable than that. So I've got the remedy, and I'm charging money for it. And I'm like, now, if you want to know how I rationalize this, I'm like, well, I mean, I do free events all over the country. I do free videos. Anyone can watch the free videos. There's hours and hours and hours of free content. These motherfuckers won't even read Relentless by Timothy S. Grover. They won't even read the fucking coach of Michael Jordan's book. Maybe they just want to be enslaved. I mean, what's that say about you? You haven't even read Jordan's coach's book. Probably haven't read 11 Rings either by Phil Jackson. Crazy. Look at all the dumb shit you've looked at, right? So part of me is like, damn, like I'm doing more than anybody. I'm out here running free events. I'm traveling the world. I'm stressing my body. I'm out here busting my ass, putting out content, putting myself at risk. I open my home to people. Who here's ever just been up to my home at random for free? Like, who does that? I bring you in my home. Okay, I open my door to everybody, okay? That's a Christian ethos. But at the same time, I'm realizing, like, what if I don't take this mainstream? What's going to happen to the country? What's going to happen to my kids? So I'm not saying that I have the exact answer. I don't, because every human being is wrong about something. So, yes, I studied this for 2 decades. Yes, I made this my mission for 2 decades. Yes, I care about this so much I get energized by it. Yes, this is everything to me. Yes, I've tried to falsify my ideas and look for contradictory ideas and poke holes in my own ideas and study them and talk to people and made it my entire life's mission. But you know what? A lot of other great thinkers were proven wrong later. So maybe there's entire paradigms that I don't see. That's how obsessed I am with what I teach. But what I'm saying is, what if this was taught? Look what you learned in 2 hours. What if this basic kind of stuff was taught in grade school? Do we really have to go back to the 1950s? No, we don't have to go back to the 1950s. That's some bitch shit. Okay? So we don't have to do that. But while we can talk about some grand plan of the universe and China and freedom and communism, which is really cool, it's ultimately a distraction from your own ascension. So one of my favorite quotes in the Bible is, don't judge the chip in your brother's eye when you have a plank in your own eye, you hypocrite. So while it's really interesting to look at, like, why did the head of China say it's going to take over America? What's that going to say about my life in a few years? While that's very interesting, the number one thing that you could do is improve yourself. And when you improve yourself, all that's going to happen is your own life is going to get more awesome and it's going to get better. So, like I said earlier, like, if I was a woman, even in a room like this, I personally wouldn't want most of you guys leading my life. I don't think most of you guys are at that point. So why be mad about that? Why not say to yourself, wait a minute, I've got to backwards engineer what would be a win-win instead of selfishly thinking just only for me. What's a win-win, right? So you guys are here in this room listening to me because I spend all my time thinking about you. I don't think me, it's me. It's me. I'm thinking you. I'm meeting you. I'm trying to find a win for you. And part of that win is being sensitive to your needs, and part of it is being a leader. So I think that things should continue. I like that things are getting worse. But I like it because as things get a bit more tense and difficult, that takes the derpers and forces them to snap out of it. Things getting easier is just enabling. Say the word enabling. Say enabling the derper. So stop enabling the derper. Why do we enable derpers? 2020, what was that an exercise in?
Complacency.
It was enabling derpers. Giving priority to the derper. Someone that doesn't know what a vitamin is takes over the world. Puts you in house arrest. You ever heard of a vitamin? So we give priorities to a derper. We don't need to enable derpers. We don't need to drag down the playing field. But what we do need is this. What I'm teaching you here should not be a niche. This should not be a niche. That's fucking criminal that this is a niche. And I'm not saying just my stuff. We need better people than just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Owen, I'm quirky, I like this, all that. It can't just be me, okay? It has to be you. So that's ultimately what I'm getting at here, guys, is it can't just be me. It has to be you. It has to be all of us. And the culture has to change. And church, which my favorite book of all time is the Bible, the Gospels. My favorite gospel is probably the book of Matthew, but maybe the book of John. I'm kind of tied. Book of Matthew has Sermon on the Mount. Book of John's a little more cohesive for me. I'm obsessed with the Bible. But does a modern day church, just be honest, how many of you guys here go to church? Is modern day church meeting all your needs of modern day?
No.
Painful to say it, right? Because you want to say yes, right?
Yeah.
I do too. I want to say yes. But can you honestly say yes?
No.
No. But what function did church serve in the past? It helped men and women to meet each other. I mean, you didn't have to learn cold approach, okay? Or Tinder, okay? It helped people to meet each other, help matchmaking. Social cohesion, community. But also, how important is it to raise the vibe and get a little bit of clarity just once a week? Like imagine if I lived here and every week I was just in here every single week raising the vibe. But it wasn't just me, it was other people like me. It was you. You were participating in it and you were learning how to step up and sharing as well. I'm sharing, you're sharing, and we're maybe doing that like an afternoon a week. Thinking about our divine purpose while we're on this earth. What would happen?
Amazing.
Be fucking incredible, right? How much better would the country look?
Fantastic.
But what's our version of church today? Collectively, nationally.
Social media.
TikTok. A Chinese communist platform spying on you is your church. That's God to most of this country. That is degenerate God to most of this fucking country. Okay? Look at the numbers. Most popular website. It's fucking crazy. Okay? That's where we're going. So what's going to happen to a country like that? End of the empire, baby. Rome, baby. Look, walk down the street in LA. What does it look like? Resident fucking evil. And that's normalized. It's like a frog in boiling water. We normalize this shit. That's not fucking normal. That's fucked. So there has to be leaders that look through the fog here and go, wait a minute, fuck this. Fuck this. Okay? Not begging for a return to positional leadership that you're just given because you've got a dick, but actually stepping up. Now, you know a counter argument that a lot of people would say to this? Here's what they say. Why should I even go through all the trouble to get these run-through scraps? You ever feel that way? Yeah. But why are they acting like that in the first place? What do you know, if you're in a relationship and you act like a bitch, what's the first sign? What do we know about women? They amplify their man, right? So if you start acting like a bitch and you're in a relationship, what kind of behavior do you start seeing from your little princess?
Bitchy.
There's a word, repeat this after me, it's called acting out. Say the word acting out.
Acting out.
Acting out. What you're seeing now in the modern day is a collective acting out. And it's what you do if the options in front of you were what they have. They just start acting out. It's like a giant collective shit test. So see, people see that as like this big like social movement. I just view it as a fucking shit test. Right? What is a shit test? They talk a bunch of shit, they act out, they act fucking crazy, they get more and more insane because there's no grounding energy, right? There's no grounding, there's no one to ground. So they go nuts. So what you're seeing is a country of men that got weakened and are pathetic, and as a result, their beautiful companions are acting out collectively. That's just what's happening. And then rather than guys actually going, wait a minute, whoop, like that, they go, oh, and they get pushed down, and then the acting out continues, and just looks insane. Imagine somebody from, say, a Muslim country where they do a lot of like really repressive shit. And then shit that's repressive, that's obviously horrible. Even though I love the Quran. But a lot of culture that's pretty backwards. Well, shouldn't we as people that are moving forward progressively be role models to say, you guys are lame. Like, look at all the cool stuff that we're doing here. But what do we look like to them right now? What do we look like to some in a Muslim country looking at Los Angeles right now? What are they thinking right now? They're like, look at these idiots. Look what happens when you let them out from under the burqa, right? That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying about you. You know how I know? How do you think I know? Because I have a lot of Muslim friends. They're laughing at you. They're like, you guys are crazy, man. But why does it have to be like that? Like why is that? Why are the two options in front of us? Like, putting a blanket over everyone so that they could only see through their eyes, or like this shit. Why is that the only two options? Is there a third path? Why can't we be role models? And you know what's the problem is people get so used to losing, right? You ever just feel like collectively we get so used to fucking losing that losing becomes the norm? And sometimes someone's got to step up and say, no, we're not losing anymore. No, we're not losing anymore. We're winning. right? And that's where something like a church is meant to come in place, where once a week there's inspiration there. Like, no, we're not losing, okay? We're not fucking losing, okay? There's a destiny. There's a great destiny for freedom, okay? Do you guys believe that the Constitution was created by God? It was created by man, but do you believe it was divinely inspired or not?
It's pretty good.
Look at the tepid response. That's disgusting. You should be disgusted with yourself. You should be fucking sick with yourself. Who's even read the Constitution? You should be fucking sick with yourself. You should be disgusted with yourself right now. I ask you, was the Constitution divinely inspired? That doesn't, now look, not everyone was included in that vision right away, but it set a framework where eventually everyone could be included. You're sitting here right now with the best life fucking possible, with all this fucking freedom and money and consumers. You're sitting in a free fucking seminar room right now where I can talk all this shit that you'd never have if it weren't for the fucking Constitution. And you don't think that that was divinely inspired?
That's a good point.
You're sitting in a beautiful city with all this prosperity, taking your fucking Ubers off your fucking phone, and you don't think the Constitution was divinely inspired? You go get a fucking grass-fed hamburger for $11 from the fucking corner store, and you don't think the Constitution was divinely inspired? You don't even know what fucking built the reality that you have. I'm not trying to shame you, but I'm trying to make a point. Look at how lost we are. How many people in here, be honest, and by the way, my answer at this point would be no, so don't be ashamed of this. Who here would die for their country right now? If there's only one person in this room that would die for their country, go look up old World War II documentaries. Look at the men lining up to go defend their country, running off the beach of Normandy, running into the beaches of Iwo Jima. Okay? If only one person in this room is willing to die for their country, what does that mean? What is that a predictor of what's about to happen here?
Death of the country.
What that means is another country can walk in and just take everything. Do you see that? They can just take everything because literally, if you're another country right now and you see me in the seminar room with a group of some of the better men, and the leader of the seminar says, "Would you die for your country?" and only one guy puts his hand up, what does that tell you what to do as the leader of another country? What you can do if you want. Doesn't mean you have to, but what can you do? Let's go. Look at these rich, fat, lazy fucks. Look at these rich, fattened up, lazy fucks. And they can walk on in and take your shit, and no one's gonna die to defend it, so they're all gonna run. Probably the women be more likely to defend it than the men. So then, that's it, right? Well, why does that happen? Because there's culture war within the country, there's political polarization within the country. People don't feel like you'd die for your country if you felt like the man next to you would die for your country. If you felt like you had a woman at home who loved you, you'd die for your country. If you had children that you're protecting, you'd die for your country. But in this shit, you won't. So you're weak. So, what's on the license plate of New Hampshire license plate? New Hampshire license plate, what's it say?
Live free or die.
Okay, so if the average person doesn't have that mentality, what happens in 2020? They know they can do it. They know they can do it because people are not willing to, there's no boundary there, right? What did I tell you in this seminar about boundaries? If I don't say, hey, if you don't put away your food, you gotta go. Hey, if you don't sit in this room, you gotta go. What happens to the room? What happens to the room if I don't do that? Here's what it looks like, okay? You want me to tell you, because I've taught a gazillion seminars? One little guy starts talking and looking at his phone and talking to the buddy next to him. Then the other little guy's talking to his buddy next to him. Then the little guy gets some fucking food. Then, I have like another one of my buddies up here up at the front. He's staring at his fucking phone because he's heard me give the seminar spiel before and doesn't care to listen to it. By the way, they teach you as a seminar speaker, your worst enemy is your buddy at the seminar. Because your buddy who's already heard your spiel is going to look at their phone, and then it takes away the credit of you as a leader. You kick your friends the fuck out. When I have friends here, I go, you're either turn your phone off and fucking stare at me, or get the fuck out. You guys see me in the video with Aaron Dowdy recently, and he's talking. What do I do the whole time that Aaron's talking? What am I doing? Staring dead in his eyes. There's comments under that say, I wish, find you a woman that looks you in the eye the way Owen looks at Aaron Dowdy's eyes, right? Do you think I've heard Aaron, I'm great friends with Aaron. Do you think I've heard his spiel before? Yeah. Is it like, look, I love Aaron's spiel. That's why I brought him there. I want you guys to hear it. But how boring is it for me to hear the same shit that I've heard a million times from Aaron when we just ate lunch together? It's boring as fuck. And you know what else is boring as fuck? My shit to Aaron. Aaron doesn't want to hear my stuff either. But if we're running a seminar together, you're damn well going to look in the eye of the fucking seminar leader and give that guy some fucking credit. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm making sure to give him props, right? So what happens when you run a seminar is the one guy starts eating, the other guy starts talking, the other guy starts whispering, people start coming in and out, and then eventually, you know what actually happens? This is real, by the way. People just get up and leave. The whole room just gets up and leaves. The whole room just leaves. I actually have nightmares about it sometimes. Right, I'm in a room and I just little chaos here, little chaos there, and everyone just leaves. I go, wait, come back, come back. Why is that? There's no boundary, right? It's like a cup with water in it. If there's a breach in it, what happens to water?
Comes out.
It comes out, right? Do guys have a boundary right now?
No.
Do guys have self-respect?
No.
No. Maybe a touch of it. Most don't. Most guys have approach anxiety. Don't even have enough respect to even go say hi to somebody. Don't even have enough self-respect to go say hi to somebody. Yep.
On that, do you feel that?
You don't have self-respect. I can't even hear you.
Do you feel that feminism has led to this?
I think men led to acting out and is now reverberating and amplifying. But if a couple people in here start acting out, do I come to the front and start crying like a bitch, or do I reassert leadership?
Reassert leadership.
Okay? People are hard, man. Okay? Why are they doing this to me? I'm the leader. No, I reassert leadership, and then you'll calm down, and then we'll act right, and we'll go to the promised land together. Quick one, yes.
Fetishization of criminality among women.
Yeah. Fetishization of criminality. I mean, it's called acting out. Look up the word acting out, okay? Look, if I don't run the seminar properly, it's not just girls, guys. It's called humans. Men RAS flip each other and backstab each other in business. The men in this room, if I don't exert leadership, will begin to act out. Do you understand what clients of mine, I've never had a client act out in decades, but probably 15 years. Do you understand what my clients used to do to me back when I didn't have a boundary, when I didn't have financial abundance, and I didn't have the capacity to walk away, and I needed the money from them? So I'd have a client where now if I have a client and they're a dick, I go, you're getting a refund and you're getting the fuck out. But because I can do that, I never have to do that. I haven't ever had to do that. But I could, so it doesn't happen. Okay? So you guys as men, women, you're acting out. What will happen if I come in here as a weak leader to this room?
We'll act out.
You guys will also act out. Look, I've run parties where there was no security there. I don't look over and see my own friend with his dick out just pissing on the floor in the middle of the floor. And you walk up and you go, what are we doing here? And they actually look confused. They're like, I don't know why. Look, I've seen riot. I used to go to Queen's University and on Aberdeen Street where they have homecoming. There's a riot ensues. There's no boundary, and you just see cute little girls just walk up, just grab a glass bottle, just throw it in a car. When there's no leadership and there's no boundary, human beings just create massive chaos as kind of a beckoning to be led. It's I'm going to act out and I'm going to act crazy until I'm going to represent the chaos energy to draw in someone that's strong enough to lead. So when you're seeing chaos happening, it's a lack of leadership. But again, leadership should not be just positional leadership, right? Remember those 5 levels of leadership? Let's look at them again, okay? And then we're going to wrap this. Let's look at this again. Okay? I know we're getting heavy. Positional leadership is at the bottom. Permission-based is the next up. Production of results is the next up. Helping to develop people is the next up. And actual respect is the next up. So if you as a guy, if you don't have respect, you have fucking nothing. Okay? But you've got to earn that respect. So look, I'm going to put this out as a video, and this is not going to be popular. Okay? It's not. And look, the real truth is, even if it is popular, it'll do 20, 30,000 views, and there'll be millions of people that need to see it that won't see it. So whether or not it's a well-received video, because guys, people are so beaten down and demoralized at this point that anything that you tell them that they could have accountability, they cry like bitches. They just cry like fucking bitches. They'll literally think that what I'm saying is like Jake Tapper on CNN saying, men just need to have some manners. They'll equate it to that, right? Which really is a trap for you to beta-size yourself and actually fuck you over. They'll think that I'm doing that. It's like a Jake Tapper speech, like a Don Lemon speech or something, right? They'll think it's that, and it's not. What I'm telling you is you don't need to rely on positional leadership. You can learn real leadership. So what's going to happen, whether I am the implementer whether you're the implementer, there has to be a human awakening project. There has to be a human awakening project. Okay, there has to be a human awakening project. Do you understand? What else is coming? AI. The chaos is going to be out of control. AI is coming, guys. Okay, there has to be a human awakening project. There has to be a human awakening project. Okay, we have to awaken. We're no longer in a, being asleep is no longer an option. The derpers are not going to be enabled. We've already seen the chaos of 2020 and what happened there. That chaos could not be allowed to continue. Okay, so collectively, but also individually. It starts with the individual, right? What does Gandhi say? What's the sentence Gandhi says related to this? Come on, guys.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Be the change you want to see in the world, right? So the first step is to change yourself. Then once you change yourself, then you change the world. But first you change yourself. Don't wait for me to build some mega church or for you to, for the world to change, for you to change, okay? You can very, very easily be a multimillionaire. It's very easy. You can very, very easily learn social skills and build your dating life and have a great relationship. Like, you can do all this stuff relatively easily. You can. So don't wait for that to happen. Be the role model of it. But then speak out when you see this shit. Speak out. And realize you're not going to get us, you're not going to stop the current dynamic with positional leadership. It's not going to happen. There's not going to be a reassertion of collective positional leadership. It's highly unlikely in the next 100 years. Could happen eventually, but not likely in the next 100 years. More likely the direction that we're heading is oppression and AI just turning people into complete losers. And the sad part about AI, by the way, is that we're going to give away our humanity before we even knew what it meant to be human. We were just figuring out what it meant to be human. And we're warned about AI in the book of Revelation, in the Bible, by the way. We're warned about it. We're warned about the mark of the beast as well. The mark of the beast happened in 2020. We're warned about it. We're warned about the beast. It's AI. We're warned about it. But we don't listen. Quick question, yeah?
Yeah, I wonder.
I can't hear you.
What's the ladder to go up in the leadership from the positioning to?
You know, the sad truth is like I said, it's fucking criminal, but like, take my trainings. And I mean that. Like, I'm probably one of the few people there's a couple people, but there's not a lot that are teaching this properly. But what I would say is, don't just take my trainings. Like, take my trainings and steal them. Steal my trainings. Go be a teacher. Like, learn what I'm, like, I'll teach you here. Look, I'll teach you here all freaking day for free as best I can. And I'll give you everything I have, right? And I give you everything that I can give you in the time that I have. But I'd honestly recommend every single one of you in here, come on the proper training, continue, learn from me, but learn from other people like me, and then go build out trainings. And then eventually, what I truly believe is this has to be for free. Like, I think what I'm doing is criminal that there's a money charge for it. But again, I don't feel that bad, because most of you didn't even read Relentless by Timothy S. Grover. So it's like, I feel bad, but I'm kind of like, you didn't read Timothy S. Grover? Like, really? Then what's that say about, like even if I was giving it away for free, if you didn't even read Jordan's coach's book, then why do I have to implode my business if you won't even read Jordan's book? So you got to meet me halfway and read Jordan Coach's book. And by relentless, I'm saying that as a half joke, but as a metaphor for put in the damn work yourself, please. Okay? Like, come on, guys. Like, put in the damn work yourself. I can't care more about it than you do. But again, I'm here trying to lead and trying to get y'all to stop acting out with this bullshit of not reading Relentless. Quick question I had in there? Yeah. Louder, man.
Do you have a list of books recommended?
Many of them, and they're online. Okay? So, yeah, I would just say learn from me as much as you possibly can while I'm alive, because I'll be dead, and there's going to be a lot of people going, man, could you imagine you could have learned from Owen while he's alive? So while my beard is only 80% gray, you know, and I'm not shot yet, come and learn from me while you can. And then from there, learn from as many people as you can, read books, get mentors, study the way that I have. And look, guys, there's an honest light at the end of the tunnel. My dating life is so much fun, it's ridiculous, okay? Like, you know, ridiculous. I have traveled to every national park in the last few years in the entire country. I've skied every ski hill. I do the best parties. I have a lot of fun. I walk around wearing $100,000 in jewelry. I just have a great life, guys, okay? I do parties in mega estates. I have a fun life, okay? So my life is fun. I got 3 great kids. They're out here in Vegas, burning thousands of dollars a day, having a giant, great time. So life can be fun, guys. Like, it's not all just tough. There's a payoff, okay? But to the victor goes the spoils. I've invested all that money into myself. I self-invested rather than had discretionary spending and rather than wasting my time. I cared about myself. I had that self-esteem. I thought I was worth it to invest in myself. I thought I was worth it. I thought I'm worth it. Why not, right? Is that bad to think you're worth it? You know, I've been sick in 13 years. As of now, it'll be more later. I thought I was worth it. I thought I was worth treating myself well enough to just stop getting sick. I thought I was worth it to go travel. I thought I was worth it to have beautiful, amazing women in my life. I thought I was worth it to have a fun time being a father. I thought my kids were worth it. Do you think you're worth it? Do you invest in yourself or do you invest in discretionary spending? Do you invest your time wisely or do you fuck it off, right? If you're not where you want to be, it's because you've been fucking your time off. It's a self-respect issue. So you've got to collect a group of people who don't respect themselves and who have the wrong priorities. Ty Lopez taught me this. He said, the most powerful question in the world is what else? Say that word, what else?
What else?
What that means is if you're fucking yourself off, say, what else could I be doing? And what would somebody who respects himself be doing? But I guess what I'm trying to leave you guys with is this. I'm trying to show you, as someone who studied this for decades, larger trends that I'm seeing happening. Individually bucking that trend and saying no, just say the word no.
No.
Okay, just saying the word no to that trend, that's step one, okay? Become a millionaire. Become a millionaire in the next 2 years. Now I say this because, it's not possible, you can't become a millionaire in 2 years. Guys, millionaire is like the new 100 grand, okay? That's like in the 90s I said just make 100 grand the next 2 years, okay? It's not that much money. Then from there, get very good socially, get very good spiritually, get very much on your purpose, get focused, like actually get focused. So individually solve that issue the next year or two. Then, once you've solved that issue, now you're leading from the front. And if you're leading from the front, you're someone that people will listen to and someone that people will respect. Practice leadership. Go fuck up. Go exert leadership and then have it stab you in the back or break your heart and be the coyote that leaves and then come back stronger. Undertake that process and embrace it. It's your spiritual destiny. It's your personal destiny. It's your spiritual destiny. And don't wish that it was easier. Wish that you were better. Yep. Loud though.
What would you say is the number one thing that got you 100 million in sales?
Mentors. I studied under John Carlton, Dan Kennedy. A common mentor now is Alex Hormozi. I also teach sales. Okay, guys, I did 10,000 in sales at the mall the other day. Okay, I just do sales at the mall. You know what I'm saying?
So just investment, basically.
I do cold sales at the mall. So you see what I'm saying? Like I'm at the shoe store and I close sales. So I studied sales and marketing. I studied under the best mentors like Mystery and others for social skills. I studied under the best marketers. I studied under the best public speakers. I studied under the best spiritual teachers. I studied in nature. Just being in nature, that is education. But then I didn't just study, then I was a rapid implementer, okay? I have, let's repeat this after me, say speed of implementation. Speed of implementation. So like when I took my mystery training, I didn't just take it and expect a magic pill. I went out 7 days a week for 6 months after and got the ROI. I say that I'm still trying to get an ROI off my mystery training. I am the highest ROI student mystery ever had, okay? But I'm not done. I will max out my ROI off that damn training, okay? Yeah, it's only brought in over $100 million to my business, that one training, but I'm not done. Because I could have stopped at 1 million, right? So I'm not fucking done, okay? Why is that? Is that for me? Is it because I need that? No, your success, your journey is between you and God. Because your success is what allows you, like say in my case, to run the free events, to put out the free videos, to help people, to build things, okay? You can't build anything if you don't have anything very easily. Although you can start helping. So that's what I'm getting at. It's like, fuck all this TikTok shit. Fuck it. Drugs, processed foods, gossip, crap, mental looping. Fuck it, okay? Ask yourself what's more important. Do you want to be in a private jet with your children in Alaska, going into Denali? Or do you want to be sitting there looking at a fucking phone? All right, soon to be AI and like robot women that suck your dick or whatever the fuck's next. Well, it could be fun to try it. So, get the prototype, you know, right? Don't get addicted. So, so what I'm saying is like get the best mentors, okay, study them for free, take their courses, free events, paid events, mentoring, better mastermind groups, get around people that are motivated. But guys, it's not just like this life of pain, right? You're already in a life of pain. Do you have a commute to work? Your life sucks. You do a boring job? Your life sucks. You don't have a significant other that you're like, look, I've had several times where my own girlfriend is my dream girl. Like, who could honestly say, like, the woman that I'm dating is the #1 girl in the world that I would want to hook up with? And I've had that many times. Like there wouldn't be a single bit, like you know you're winning when you jerk off to your own girlfriend. You're literally like, I want to jerk off to someone else, but she's so hot, I just keep jerking off to my own girlfriend, okay? But think what a better guy you'll be for her when you do that. So, right, you know, I took my kids out of school for half the year, almost every year, right, traveling them around. So guys, it's not just hard. What you're doing now is hard. Okay, it's not all self-sacrificial, like fuck the power, like, you know, that's the American dream is one of a collective group of leaders and a collective group of people that value freedom and a collective group of people that want to be left the fuck alone by people trying to exert power and tyranny over them. Okay, and I'm a Canadian. Sometimes you need a Canadian tell you how to be a fucking American. I'm like an outside consultant. Like I'm a fucking Canadian. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? You're American. You're fucking American. What are you doing, man? Like I'm up here eating fucking poutine and shit. Our prime minister is the fucking son of Fidel Castro. So, you know, so it's like I'm sitting up here, look it up. Look it up. So look it up. I can't make this shit up. I'm just kidding. It's just joking. Okay. So, I'm just kidding. Just parody. Just kidding, guys. So, I'm sitting up here eating my poutine and shit, and I'm like, you're American, man. Come on, bro. What you doing, right? My sons are American. So of course I'm gonna take them out into national parks, hiking up in the mountains. Fearless. Fear is a fate worse than death. That's what you teach your sons when you're American. You understand? Fear is a fate worse than death. Death before fear, right? My kids have that hammered in them. They have no fear. Do you guys see videos of my 11-year-old kid just walks up in front of a crowd, just runs the whole damn event? Yeah. No fear. Okay, maybe he'll regress when he's older. You can't control your own offspring, right? You have no direct control, but you have influence, right? That's American, right? When Hitler was taking over the world, did the Americans go, I'm scared? No, they said, no, fuck you, okay? When, you know, Boston Tea Party, like, you're gonna tell us what tea to drink? Fuck you, okay? So it's meant to be a collective group of leaders who value freedom and don't wanna be told what the fuck to do because you don't need a fucking babysitter. But men right now need a fucking babysitter. And they ask for a fucking babysitter and a dick in their fucking butt. They ask for it. They beg for it. They give it away. They give away their gifts, man. They give away their they don't even know what their fucking culture is. Okay, Americans are gregarious, maybe a little bit louder, maybe a little more swag, maybe a little more fun. Having a big party in your backyard with your friends and your family. Celebrating your freedom. Like that's what it's meant to be, right? It's meant to be fun. I'm saying this as a Canadian, I'm giving you a consult. Being an American, it's meant to be fun. You're meant to have the most fun because you have freedom. You're meant to have the most fun. And you're meant to be rich because you're not being held back. You're allowed to go get rich. You're meant to sing, to dance. And there's great culture here. Look, even things like hip hop culture that we might call degenerate sometimes is actually fucking amazing. Hip hop culture is fucking incredible, although there's been problems in it, you know? But at the same time, that's because it was coming out of a certain level of energy and it's moving into a new level of energy. What's amazing about hip hop, guys? What's amazing about it?
Music.
Guys, it's fucking amazing. Like, think about it, right? You've got a community on their come up that says, no, we're gonna become fucking famous. We're gonna make the music. We're gonna make the fucking songs. We're gonna be brash. We're gonna be loud. We're gonna party. We're gonna wear big jewelry. That's American culture. Do you understand? That's beautiful. Go to Martin Luther King's homes. Go to the homes of Martin Luther King. See it. Learn the culture of Martin Luther King. Learn about your culture. Go to Washington, D.C. Go see the Lincoln Memorial, the Thomas Jefferson Memorial. Go see this stuff. Watch how there's people there cursing out Lincoln. People living in the freest country in the world cursing out fucking Abraham Lincoln. I got videos of shit like this. It's crazy. You wouldn't believe it unless you saw it. Okay? And then get into the national parks, right? We have the whole idea of America, again, as a Canadian outside consultant, it's about the open road, right? It's the open road. It's like freedom, the open road. There's beautiful gems of nature, highly well preserved, worth billions of dollars all over the country. And you take your family, you take them into nature. You go up to Montana, Glacier National Park, up in the trails, grizzly bear walking by, you got your bear spray, you know what I'm saying, right? And, you know, you're out there with your family, maybe flying around little pontoon jets and all this kind of stuff, you know, like all this different stuff. You're having fun, man, you know? You got your little empire, You're building, maybe you have staff, and you're excited for your staff to build their businesses someday and to be proud of them. And for your sons to build their empire someday and to be proud of them and for them to take you out. What if feeling that way? Like, wouldn't you like to buy, a $50,000 watch that you can give to your son someday? Like a nice little Rolex watch, something just to give to your kid? Wouldn't you like to do that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to give your kid an inheritance?
Yes.
Not because some spoiled little dickhead that'll fuck it off on drugs, but you actually do something with it and you give them a gift. Wouldn't you like to be at your death and your kids are there for you? I love you, Dad. Thank you for everything, Dad. You know that your genes continue on with those kids that were properly raised. And you love them so much and you die for those kids. You do anything for those kids. And they're your continuation, right? And you're not needing to put your brain into some chip of this Ray Kurzweil shit who I've met, by the way. This what is it? They put your brain in the cloud system so you can live forever. You already get to live forever. You've got children, you've got God, right? America's not a bunch of pussies sitting there going, I gotta put my brain in a cloud. You have God. You're already given eternal life. You already have children that continue on this earth. You already have that. You're given everything. You're given all that. But what do you do with it, right? What do you do with it? But the problem is when TikTok becomes a country's God, then what winds up happening is we forget who we even are. And I'm saying, I'm Canadian. I just eat poutine. I play hockey and eat French fries with cheese curds and gravy. Look it up. Okay? That's where I come from, okay? And I'm saying this as an outsider looking in going, wake the fuck up. Okay? So that's the message I'm trying to give you. Wake up. And this can't just be something that is in a niche. This can't just be a niche, okay? It has to be mainstream. It has to have a movement, a momentum. I may not be the person to implement that. Look, here's the truth. A lot of the time, the visionary, I'm not trying to be like I'm a visionary, but but the person that has a vision is often not the best implementer. Now, I've got great implementer friends. We built a huge worldwide movement back in the day. I got an outside shot to do it again, and I'll try. I've done it. I done a pretty good one. We were pretty big back in the day when I was going full force. I'll try, guys. I'll try. But if it's not me, it's got to be somebody, okay? But we can't just let everything go to shit. And here's the biggest single epiphany. Sometimes you get so used to fucking losing. Honestly, you get so used to losing, like a frog in boiling water, it becomes normal. Wake up, walk down the street, look at the Resident Evil reality in front of you and say, fuck this shit. Say that. Fuck this shit. This is not normal. But if you don't have the moral authority by leading to be able to say something about it, what does your opinion matter? Are you just wanting positional leadership? I don't like that you're doing this. You should listen to me. I remember my ex-girlfriend, her brother, I said to him, what do you like to do? He's some little weed junkie, okay? And he's like, I said to him, what do you want to do? He said, well, I'm really good at telling other people what to do. Yeah, well, you smoke weed? You're a piece of shit. You're garbage. Now, he's a child of God, right? It's God's creation. But God gives you free will, right? Why is communism so fucked? Why did God give you free will to be good or evil? Because God's not a fucking communist, right? Being a good person only has meaning if you chose it. So God gives you the ability to choose. Otherwise, it's just a carbon copy, right? Think about it. Why would God create human beings? If God just creates another baby version of God that has no choice and takes away the free will, God's going to be lonely. So if you have free will, why did God give you free will? What's your soul's journey? Is this it? You just die? This is it? What's your soul's journey? The free will that you have now, you're a baby. Do you understand? You guys, do you ever guys feel like evil is very, very powerful?
Yes.
It is powerful, but you want to know what? It's deceptive. Humanity is infinite, not just double powerful as evil, not triple powerful as evil. It's infinitely more powerful than evil. But you're like a little baby right now, spiritually. Us humans on this planet are like little babies, kind of surrounded by red ants. And if you put a baby in a little pocket of red ants, that baby could get really hurt, right? We're babies right now. So we can get really, really hurt by all these negative influences and so on and so forth, right? We get deceived. Why do we learn in the Bible? Come back to God. Don't look at the false god, the golden calf in the book of Exodus, right? There's so many golden calves that confuse you and take you down these wrong paths and put you in webs that can take decades to unwire if you go down the wrong web. Spiritually kill you. A lot of people walking around spiritually dead. They walk down the streets like a corpse. They still deserve respect. They could always come back. So in the Bible, bringing people back to God is so valuable. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian, you believe in God, but you can understand the basic principles, so don't get hung up on the words. So, we're babies, right? But you have to understand, like, I've studied human potential for decades. I understand human potential at a pretty high level. Your potential, what you have in you, is so much higher than you realize. You know these old things we talk about, like, oh, back in the day, a caveman would walk like 11 miles a day, and they're in better shape than an Olympic athlete? That's the physical side. What about the mental side? So me growing up, I would have been a failing student. I could barely focus to even read a book. I was always upset, very, very emotionally dysregulated, not present in the moment, very spiritually disconnected. And when I see that I was one of the most dumb people I'd ever seen in my life, failing student, and then just by sticking in there, just stick in there, right? You just stick in, you don't give up on yourself. The transformation you can make, the transformation that I made was, yes, with really good leaders, but I don't even feel like the human potential movement is even at 1% what it could be. Like, yes, I value Eckhart Tolle, right? I value my great mentors, but we're just beginning to understand what it means to be human. And we're about to give up our humanity right before we even understand what it means to be human. So there's a fork in the road that we're seeing where you're going to see some people who just give up their humanity. Boom, they give it up. And other people that say, no, I'm not afraid to die. I live on through God, my soul, and my children. And I don't need this. And they're going to say no. And it's going to get really crazy, guys. Like my kids will be watching this video looking for guidance. Your kids will be watching things like this, look for guidance. It's going to get real crazy, okay? It's about to get really crazy. You think ChatGPT is crazy? It's about to get really crazy, okay? We're in some really interesting times. You guys realize that? Do you realize what interesting times we're in right now? We're in the most interesting time perhaps ever. Okay, we're right in the thick of history right now. Okay? So what's going to wind up happening is you're either going to see a collective awakening. We need a human awakening project. We need a human awakening project. You're either going to see a collective awakening or you're going to see us just go down. And don't take human continuation for granted. We could be extinct like that. You ever seen all these amazing animals like saber-toothed tigers, the short-faced bear? Look this stuff up, like the short-faced bear, giant sloth. These things were apparently around only 12,000 years ago. Gone. Okay? So don't assume that we're going to be here forever. Someday humanity will be wiped out off the face of the earth, right? There will be that final human alone. Maybe the sun explodes. Not crazy to think about, right? There'll be the final human. Last one. But you want to know what you don't realize? There'll be the final free person too. Before the last human dies, like physically dies, there'll be the last person who had freedom. And there'll be the last person who had a soul. The last person with a soul. And if you've ever seen the Never-Ending Story, you guys remember Never-Ending Story, that movie? Yeah, it's a super cool book, or a super cool movie and book. And you see, what's it called? Fantasia, what's it called? Right? And it's all been destroyed. And the princess, she's there, and it's like one last dot is left of people's dreams that haven't given up. One last little speck. And it only takes one kid to not give up on that last speck to bring it back. That could be you. You could bring it back. But if that kid gives up on the dreams, the last speck goes out and is gone forever. Your freedom and your soul and your autonomy and your growth and what you're capable of, that has so much potential. You have no fucking idea what you're capable of. You have no idea what could happen to you, what your life could be. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to see that little speck of a soul that you have access to currently. You have to see that, and you have to believe in it, and you have to water it, and you have to feed it, and you have to say no to the system designed to shut you down. You have to say no to it, and you have to keep watering it, and you have to keep fighting and stacking little small wins and believing in it every single fucking day and enjoying the fun of it. It's not just work, it's meant to be fun. Your life's meant to be fun and doing things that are enriching to your soul. And to see us come through this time, and what's going to happen is we have a great victory ahead of us. It's a great victory for humanity. And we're going to go into the stars. We're going to be in other galaxies. We're going to evolve. We're going to hit our potential. Amazing, amazing things are going to happen. But there's competing visions and a fork in the road right now with what that means. And is that going to be just a bunch of fucking computers and people that are asleep and biomass? Or is that going to be God's children moving into our true potential and moving into other dimensions, not just other galaxies in the world, but other spiritual dimensions that we have access to? And so that's something that you play a role in right now. You play a real role in that right now. So the woman thing is a canary in the mine shaft of a much, much, much bigger conversation. So little small things like, getting your woman life down or getting your money life down. These are small little things that you can use as like weights in a gym, to grow. And as you become a role model, you can become a role model for your children, you can become a role model for other people, and you can contribute to the awakening of the world. So I hope that you guys enjoy the talk. And that's the transmission for today. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. That is it for the day. That was our transmission for the day.